we rejoin with our campaign on February 27th, 3:30. It has been a few weeks since last episode, and the situation hasn't changed much. With the Federation forces around Baker's Point still waiting for the hammer blow. However, the United Front is at the very end of their logistical tether and have been forced to do nothing but wait outside the approaches of the city. In that time, General Devers, as acting Ninth Fleet Admiral, has allowed a prisoner transfer to happen of internationalists, about 10,000 of them collected over the course of the war, as well as political dissidents, to be transferred over back to the United Front in exchange for, I think it was 200,000 prisoners, both colonials and federals. Yeah, a lot. And to facilitate this, there is a small armada of international class transport carriers filled to the brim with prisoners on their way to federal lines. And due to the limited constraints of the escort, the 20th IVA Patrol Regiment has been chosen as the honor guard. Jozsua.
Yo.
Because of this, you, along with the Belter Brigade, are moving forward past into federal lines to a Fort Wunderli to do part of the handoff.
What?
What have you been up to in the last few weeks?
As it has been for the last 2 weeks, Ramadan, aboard the good ship Bienio Rosso, Yajua has been, in accordance with his duties as the deputy political commander, arising before dawn to organize Sahur for the Muslims of the ship's company and embarked detachments. And so at probably 4 a.m. or so, he just sort of, I guess it's been 2 weeks of this now. He just sort of groans, sits up in the sleeping bag, and is like, "Oh boy, another day." He rolls over to the aviation commissary where the Sahor is being held, and the equally bleary ship stewards are rolling out breakfast. The timer for sunrise in Mecca is already counting. That's MECCA. The not that one, the other one. And there's about 30 minutes to go as the sailors lackadaisically fill themselves with food before the fasting for the day starts.
You know, I talked to you a little bit about this when we were coming up with some of the lore around, the Jovian Union. You told me that in Ramadan, soldiers are specifically exempt from the fasting.
They are exempt from fasting. They do not. The fasting is not mandatory. They can still fast if they choose to.
Ah, I see, I see. Well,
And and every morning of Ramadan, Sahur gets smaller and smaller and smaller as everyone else sort of, as more and more of the crew elect to let's just do it later.
Is there any other special events going on?
Uh, at like 10 a.m. there will be a sermon, and then of course there will be iftar, which is more of a ship-wide thing. They just sort of move dinner to slightly later in the day, and it's little bit of a party.
I bet your foreign born, the blue born internationalists are really a fan of that.
Yep. Another thing is that it's a sort of thing for non-Muslims aboard the ship is very easy to get free food. Is one of the things you can do in lieu of fasting is feeding the hungry, which can be charitably interpreted as just sort of buying snacks and food for your crewmates.
I see. Have you coordinated any of this with Rasabin at all?
Oh, a little bit because we just want to make sure that between the ship's company and the aviation units that we're all sort of on the same page. But as Yajua is a Muslim and uh, Rasavine is not, he just sort of takes lead on most of the stuff.
You've
But
been delegated.
I have been delegated.
I see. So, how do you feel about this whole handoff business with the prisoners?
It's kind of weird. All strikes him as somewhat Napoleonic. Very much gentleman's man of honor. We're sort of exchanging prisoners on the promise of Devers' oath as a woman of honor and a lady, I suppose. Um, so
I see. And what are you feeling about the situation on the front at the moment?
yeah, it's sort of much to what he's expecting. Rapid action and advancement, and then things slow down because it's Saturn. That's just kind of how things go. 2 months of action, 10 months of waiting. That's a year on the front.
Uh, well, it depends on which part. That's on one part of the front. There's usually about 4 to 5 months of action, depending on if it's heavy or not, but never in the same place all at once for the entire
No,
period.
of course not. It's too expensive.
And well, like, there's lots of diversity in the United Front because, like, the warlords, like the Bandit King, aren't gonna share stuff with the left National Liberation Front.
Bet they're not.
And E. Vitrin, president of Saturn, doesn't like the Cronian communists all that much, and vice versa.
Which is crazy. From all the Cronian communists that Yajua has seen, brackets the only one, Fuyuki, has been completely like, you know, interpersonally he's fine, but political unreliability. This is a billion above his pay grade. So
Well, it very much feels like, and because if you read that history about the IVA, that much of the Jovian job in the war has putting all the Cronians in their get along shirt.
very much as part of the job. Yeah.
Fuyuki,
Yes, that is me.
how have you been feeling, and what have you been up to?
Um, well, uh, after a recent combat encounter and scoring another victory, I think I scored another victory, right?
You should
I
be
think so.
marking these things
Pretty sure.
down.
Okay. I did mark it down, but I don't remember. Sorry.
Have you
um,
considered Eforgor?
yeah, have you considered I for Gore? Okay. Sorry. I have to drink water frequently or I'll die. I think Fuyuki has been he's been pretty satisfied with how the combat has been going. He thinks he's been doing a pretty good job, and you know, clearly he's been successful. Um, he's also been reading. He's read over Shakespeare's "All to Do About Nothing," which is the book he ended up borrowing from the ship library. In between reading whatever was assigned for book club.
Book club
And
is
he is
not mandatory. You're not required to go.
Well,
That's
we do take a
fine.
book for it, though.
That's fine, but he wants to go, so he enjoys book club. He understands that one must be somewhat what's the word? Not be outwardly political in his role on the ship. And the book club really he feels is the closest he can get to speaking his mind, though he does it in what he thinks are in acceptably vague ways. But overall, I think he's just been chilling. He keeps pestering people about the whole I should get a big sword or a big axe for my walker frame thing. I don't think he or Hordon have let that go unless Hordon says otherwise.
Hordon would not say otherwise.
Good to know.
And speaking of Hordon, what have you been up to as the both of you come on to the mess hall with a very tired Jozsua already there?
Hello, Captain.
Morning.
You look like you didn't sleep very well.
I didn't sleep very much. As Depol, I have to attend both Iftar and Sahur every day.
You know what I like about you, Cap? You gave up
Uh,
correcting us on calling you Cap.
Well,
Shows
problem
character
with
growth.
thanks. How are you two doing this fine morning? Care to join us for Sahur? We have dates and naan and not much else because fewer and fewer of everyone wants to participate every morning.
You said you had dates?
Mm-hmm. The fruit.
Yeah, no. Hordon starts selfishly hoarding those and eating as many as he can.
Go for it. Ceremonial for both iftar, for the last food you have at a sahur and the first food you have at an iftar to be a date.
Can I get coffee anywhere?
Yeah, it's the same place as usual.
This is the fleet arm. There's always coffee available.
So this whole prisoner transfer thing. I mean, so what? Are we just supposed to sit there and look pretty?
We're largely just there to make sure nothing goes wrong. My understanding is that the actual duty is partly ceremonial and partly just to look intimidating.
I'm good at looking intimidating. And he smiles.
That's true.
We are not expecting combat, correct?
No, that's kind of why we're there, is to keep things staying calm, providing a deterrent.
Oh, boring it will be then. And he yawns.
Almost certainly. We may be... What was that? Oh, that's my cat. But it may be sort of, rubbing shoulders with the enemy a little bit. Stay frosty. It's going to be a weird day.
Alright, I'll keep on my toes.
Well, yes, actually, specifically you were chosen to look intimidating on account of the fact that who's on board. Because, you know, if anyone can make a impossible situation work and get out alive, it would be Markovac.
Sure, that's kind of his thing.
And, you know, if you're going to pick anyone locally to do this, him being around seems like a all-right idea.
Pretty good idea. He's kind of the best among us.
Or anyone, really, currently alive. Zoifiya, what have you been up to?
Zoifiya would have, if she had any concerns about complaining about to Rafa, she quickly, her heat dissipated, and she wouldn't have. She's mostly in her room, for the most part.
Doing what?
Writing and scrapping letters, and
You know, you haven't gotten a return letter yet, although that makes sense on account of the fact that it's been busy on Saturn. It's campaigning season.
it's worst time to send one, worst time to receive one. She probably would have actually gone out to rejoin with her Rafa.
And you find them there.
Hey, Zoifiya.
Comrade Captain, Junior Lieutenant.
Morning, Zoifiya. He's literally and somewhat absent.
Captain, you seem tired?
I am.
Right, it's
It's
My
a horror
apologies.
14 in a row.
I
Captain, you know you don't have to sign up to every committee, right?
It's not a committee.
Yeah.
It's a religious ceremony. This was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, but
He says not particularly convincingly.
my thing
Doesn't
though
sound
is like
it's a
you're
big deal
tired
to
now.
you.
and you wouldn't be so tired if you weren't also doing a bunch of committees.
It's got a
my
point.
job. It's my job. Rossavine is doing more than I am. He's fine.
I don't
Completely
think
normal
Rasavin
guy.
is a human.
Oh, he just sort of like rolls his eyes at Zoifiya. Yeah, but he can do it just fine. He does half the book clubs. He does all the Christian and Jewish meetings. He leads most of the political discussions, and he does basically all the paperwork.
And
Literally
he leads
handling
a
Ramadan.
Rafa.
And he is commanding a Rafa that is much stronger personal problems than ours does, though you didn't hear that from me. The
Wait,
least I can do is handle Ramadan.
worse than our issues with sticking to a plan and not rushing ahead?
Sticking with a plan is a quirk. His pilots actively hate each other.
Hey, at least we
So,
don't do that.
again, you didn't hear that from me.
My mother was non-practicing. She used to say that some of these traditions they apply to soldiery.
Yeah, some of them don't. It's since we're not actually at the front, a lot of the men actually are going through with it. If we were at the front line, we'd defer the whole thing. Wouldn't even bother with. We'd only do an iftar maybe. But since that's not the case, since we're kind of things have been really quiet ever since just after Ramadan started, there's no reason not to do it all.
I guess not.
And you don't think that will impact your performance, Comrade Captain?
He just sort of shrugs. I talk to the Dep Ops every morning, and there's nothing happening.
You're entering one of the many long periods of this war of preparations for a battle. How long that will take?
Oh.
Who the fuck really knows? You suppose IVA 2 Corps commander would know. I think
We're not
is,
in
like General Hicks.
We'll be non-combat operations for definitely the rest of Ramadan, and no one's gonna sneak up on us in space. Certainly not on the way to and from a prisoner transfer.
Well, the situation as it currently stands is you've been essentially waiting behind the United Front forces at Baker's Point. And it's a lot of sitting and staring at each other as, your allied forces sit in asteroid fields staring at the Federals and their space fortresses also not leaving.
So it goes.
It's very Sitz Creek right now.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly boring.
Y'all just not filling y'all's time with anything interesting?
No, I mean, I'm busy with that pulse stuff for the most part. What have y'all been up to lately?
Captain,
Doing a lot of reading.
What
I
you
think
been
you
reading?
just said the most depressingly boring thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's such is the nature of military life. You spend the first 2 years doing the stuff you want to do, and then the rest of it is a bureaucrat.
Fuyuki looks like he's about to say something. Thinks for a second, realizes he probably shouldn't, rests his arms on the table, says, "Hey, Captain, have you ever thought about us putting on like a ship-wide play?"
See why not? Yeah, it would be normally Rasavine's bureau, but we can.
We got fuck all to do.
We
play.
really have fuck all to do.
You mean like a Christmas play, but it's a Ramadan play?
No. I was thinking Shakespeare.
The idea of a Ramadan play is deeply funny.
They would do that, though. They would.
They would. I mean, we could. I don't know if that's what Duty had in mind.
I will admit, it was not. But yeah, I mean, there's... Excuse me.
Please say that, Tired.
Please, Tired,
Please
because
read
you
that into
fucking
the record.
stun-locked me over that.
Moment of silence, please.
It's just the Nightmare Before Christmas. What's this? What's this? And then he opens the door. It's the Quran.
The final revelation is what it is.
Well.
No, I mean, personally, I was thinking Shakespeare. We've got a bunch of stuff in the ship library archives.
Did you have a show in mind?
Well, I've been reading this one, and he will put the Much Ado About Nothing on the table.
Classic.
It's a comedy, which I figured might appeal to some people a bit more than something tragic, especially in these trying times.
No, can't help but agree. I think that'll be a good one. As long as Beatrice and Benedict are of the same grade, then we shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess we'll find out who on the ship can act.
We'll put out a casting call.
Fuyuki just kind of leans back and does the yes and looks very happy.
And with that, the camera pans away from the scene of the Nino Rosso and the regiment and the brigade transporting these many international class transport ships and towards Fort Wunderli. where we come upon the scene of Philippe in his bunk. What is he doing?
Well, considering he's in his bunk, probably asleep.
Dead asleep?
Yeah, for now. It's been a rather hectic few nights of prepping the defense.
I have a question. Is this long durée of inaction made things worse or better?
Worse, definitely worse.
Because you know?
Yeah, Philippe knows what's coming. He knows they're not going to be able to stop, and that the best they can do is just cling on.
Yes, but you...
But it's what he signed up to do.
Yeah, and I like to think, as the director, you made a pretty good plan for your defense of Fort Wunderli.
Pays to have confidence in your plan, but from Philippe's perspective, it also pays to be skeptical of your plan and not have an abundance of confidence.
I see. I presume you haven't had a lot of time to make a return or response letter to Zoifiya's last correspondence.
Not really with the activity. I mean, it's just been Philippe constantly going from place to place, pilot to pilot, officer to officer, just getting every last detail sorted with them that they can, while also trying to ensure he isn't micromanaging his subordinate.
So I do have some
A rather frustrating cycle.
I do have some good news on the front of your administrative duties. You have gotten actually more than everything you wanted when it came to requisitioning supplies for the defense of Fort Wunderli.
Well, you know, Philippe just thinks to himself as he looks over the papers, well, at least we didn't have to do banditry.
Well, Baker's Point is mostly abandoned at this point. All six.
Well, at least we didn't have to loot the civilian infrastructure.
No thievery required. You put it in a form and they gave you everything you asked for.
You know, he's actually kind of impressed by that. It's a miracle how efficient federal bureaucracy can get when on the brink of annihilation.
Well, thing is, as acting Ninth Fleet Admiral, Devers is basically the second best thing to God in Saturn. And, you know, it's very easy for her to push things through at a much faster rate compared to Sonia Chow and the Colonials, who will, you know, skim a little off the top.
Well, that's actually the silver lining of the whole thing from Philippe's perspective, is now that the colonial administration is gone, the Federation can actually fight this conflict in a somewhat not comically inefficient way. And that's probably when he wakes up, really wishing he could get another app.
You know, you open up your eyes on an unfamiliar ceiling of your bunk in this forsaken place. What is the first thing you do when you get up?
First thing he does is rub his eyes open to get the guck out, and then he'll stand up, begin getting dressed for the day, making sure everything's in the proper place. You know, spend some time looking like he didn't just roll out of bed.
Despite the fact that you just rolled out of bed.
Quite literally, and, you know, he's trying to make sure that he is ready to go at his usual time, even if it is cutting it rather close at this point. So every layer is thrown on, the boots are put into place, and everything is ready to go.
Yeah, you cut a dashing figure as a sword-bearing Federation officer. You know,
He nearly forgets the sword, but he scoops it out at the last second and ties it off.
And where to first, then?
Well, first off is to fetch the exo. Though realistically, I suspect there's a certain second lieutenant who's going to be showing up any minute to intercept him with coffee or some news.
And as you open the door, there stands Jeanne, just about to open it. Swappy, that's you.
Good morning, Jeanne.
That's me. That's me. Ugh, sorry, what was happening? I kind of spaced out for a second.
No worries. Just as Philippe was about to leave, he opened the door expecting you to be close by, and there, lo and behold, he opened the door just as you were about to.
It's me! Yes, John is there. He says, Major.
Any news, Lieutenant?
Not that I'm aware of, sir. It's been relatively quiet. No attempts at a forward assaults by the enemy, and we are still waiting for that prisoner transfer.
Oh, right. I had forgotten about that silly thing.
Silly, sir?
It's a rather archaic practice, especially since it negates our chief advantage over the Red.
And I assume it's the fact we are in hold of several high-ranking officials.
No, it's more that it is a simple fact that, to put it bluntly, I would not trade a single IVA member for even 10 colonial soldiers.
I suppose I
Especially
can see what you mean.
Especially seeing as the colonials are liable to be as much of a drain in our own logistics as they are a benefit. Not to mention their lovely tendency to go looting the first lucrative opportunity they have.
Yes. Well, either way, we can't back out of the trade deal now. It's already been approved.
Indeed.
So, I suppose we'll just have to grit our teeth.
Oh, there will be no gritting of teeth. We'll show up, we'll do our duty, we'll have a fine presentation, we'll exchange pleasantries, and then we'll get back to the business that we're all here for. Still, I don't know who came up with this scheme, but it is rather entertaining at least. It breaks up the monotony.
Are you excited to be seeing the enemy face to face? Outside of the walker frame?
This is not my first time seeing them face to face, and it probably won't be the last, Jeanne.
Right. She kind of thinks for a moment. Well, I guess it's simply... She kind of sighs as she rolls her shoulders a bit. Well, either way, it'll just make it a little harder to pull the trigger. It's harder when you know there's people in there, even if you know it subconsciously.
How so? Oh, Philippe looks at her, kind of confused.
I suppose I simply haven't gotten used to killing people, sir. To put it bluntly.
Well, it would be a good trait for you in any position other than the career of a soldier, so don't be in any rush to lose that, but it'll happen eventually. Beyond which, you could do your best to bring them in alive or just do a shoot down. At the end of the day, we're not really here to actually kill them, we're here to delay them. And frankly, a wounded Red is far more valuable than a dead Red.
I only wish that everyone shared that opinion.
Oh, and who are you speaking of today? Philippe kind of gives a half smile as they walk.
Everybody in the conflict. Most soldiers you talk to are more than excited to murder a Red.
You've been hanging out too much in the Martian section of the unit.
Maybe.
Oh, speaking of Martians, he'll arrive at Nora's door and knock on it. Captain, time to wake up.
I'm already up. And Nora will come to the door, open it. I was just
And I wake up.
You already received the orders regarding the prisoner exchange?
Yes, I have received those orders.
I think we should assume the threat is going to be relatively low, but not non-existent. I wouldn't put it past them to try some dirty trick, but at the end of the day, what would the purpose be? They're already winning, after all. He kind of winks.
Understood. I wish we weren't treating them instead. I wish we executed them. But I see that we need to do that.
We
Oh,
don't
we
execute
are
federal
social
citizens, even misguided ones, Nora.
In their opinion, they aren't citizens anymore.
That might be their opinion, but the Grand Union believes all of humanity is one.
Right.
Remember what we talked about? He kind of raises a finger like a teacher reminding an unruly student.
What a hard federation I've grown into. Nora just closes the door and makes sure to have the sword with her.
That said, if our misguided cousins should try a dirty trick, I'd like you to begin crafting up a escape route, so to speak.
Already in mind, say.
Excellent. I'll leave that to you then. Well, only one last individual to grab, so let us go find our good old Lieutenant Weaver then. Shall we place bets on if he will be in his quarters or the gym?
Likely the gem, I think.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll put 5 fedals that he's in his quarters.
We'll see.
Philippe opens the quarters after there's no response. Sees he's not there. Wordlessly hands 5 fedals over to good old Nora.
Nora nods and just pockets it.
To the gym we go.
And in the gym, you hear the sound of clashing steel. As Jamie, I would like you to make me a grit melee.
All right. The dice don't like me. That's fail by 2.
Well, I have some extra bad news. Courage rolled a critical.
What the fucker?
God damn
You
it.
hate that serious.
On the damnedest of things.
It's like it's my single best stat. I just make a ass of myself again. Oh well.
You know, as you come upon the scene, you see the two of them clashing with, the big padding on the person. And the two of them get into a bind together, a grapple, and it breaks with Courage holding Jamie's sword. And, she simply raises up her blade. Do you yield?
You win this round.
She proffers your sword back to you. Weaver, you're probably going to want to keep a tighter grip. You actually might want to, before you hold on to it, she looks down at her own hand and use the strap we use to keep the sabers from leaving the scabbards as a... I go mine in forgetting that safety strap, I think might be the word. Like a Wii remote.
Wristband?
All I could think of is we were muttering about having to use the like idiot strings, like a little kid with his mittens. Hold on to his sword.
Yes, as Vinny, like a Wii remote.
Courage, Weaver, there you are.
Morning, sir.
Good morning to you all. Are you alright, Weaver, or did that fall take your words from...
Oh, sorry. Morning, sir. I think my mic just didn't pick it up. Sorry.
You're fine. Philippe kind of tugs gently at the end of his mustache and nods and goes, "You both are already familiar with the prisoner exchange, I trust? Read the briefing pack?"
Yes, sir.
Familiar.
All right. As a reiteration, be on your best behavior. It is very likely, from what we know of the IVA's personnel, that a few of them may engage in jeering. Do not dignify it with a response. Furthermore, let's make things easier on the researchers of 3 generations from now when they try to go through archival footage to find out what unit was where. Ensure all unit insignia and decals are clearly presented on the vehicle. Not only is it a good showing, it also, as I said, will make it much easier for the researchers of tomorrow to figure out who was where.
And as we all know, the Federation loves continuity.
Precisely why he's ordering that. It's that cultural institution. Under no circumstances are you to engage with them, even if it is in a friendly, mutually consented to scuffle. After all, there are potentially... He pauses, looks down at his basically notebook to see the numbers of prisoners being exchanged. That's a prompt for you, guys.
Wait, what was the question exactly?
How many prisoners are getting exchanged?
I think I said something like 15,000.
15,000?
Thing is,
Oh my god!
there's gonna be more
Division and a half.
Thing is, this is Saturn. A single division and a division, or or 2 small divisions, depending on who and when, is a drop in the bucket of this conflict.
There are
That's
thousands
so
of federal citizens awaiting a return home to this, as well as our fellow soldiers under arms. So in no circumstances will you engage in any behavior that would jeopardize their safe return. We may disagree with the reasoning behind this prisoner exchange, but let's at least be happy that some of our compatriots are coming home.
Understood.
He's kind of looking at Courage as he says that.
And Courage says, "I swear to you on my honor, I will not rise to any provocations."
Good. If you keep to that, then when we get home, I will fight you myself.
I'll take you up on that offer, sir.
Very good then. Well, let's all get some breakfast then and see what the rest of the squadron is up to, shall we?
And when you go down to get to business, after breakfast, you find your flight crews trying to prep the walker frames and the outside of the ship with their insignias. Granted, there's a very low probability that you will allow them even close by to your actual hangar. So they are to be brought, at least a few of them, to the handoff hangar, because you're essentially, the ship is inside a bigger hangar right now. And that is where the handoff is being officiated.
Well, Philippe's glad that everyone's on the same page regarding the insignia aspect. After all, the Federation demands continuity. But I think overall, we just get ready to go. Nothing else to really do other than prep.
And, at around 12 a.m., at the agreed upon time, the Benino Rosso arrives inside Fort Wunderli to do the hang-off while the rest of the regiment stays outside. Jozsua,
Yo.
how are you feeling within an enemy fortress?
Bad, anxious, concerned. He's also like woozy because he hasn't eaten or drunk water in a few hours. Yeah, the vibes are atrocious. He's glad he's got some fleet rifles with him.
Can we get some lip tongue smacking to show he's dehydrated?
I don't know which one of you did that because I wasn't looking at my Discord, but I heard one of you did that.
Bold of you
Jesus
to
fucking
assume only
Christ.
one of us did that.
I just said it wasn't me while I was still muted because I said it wasn't me because I muted and forgot to unmute.
Look,
to
Red
make the
Team,
joke.
we're preparing our finest chicanery to barrage the fascist scum with, so.
What's a fascist? You mean an orange?
I mean a capitalist. But what's
So
the
true,
difference,
so
right?
base.
Yeah. Jozsua just like does the 2 high fives at once to 2D and Scout.
Hey, I'm not dehydrated and nearly passing out.
That's true.
I'm just vibing.
Speaking of Cap, I would have offered you uppers at some point, seeing how tired you look.
Thanks. I appreciate the offer, but it would be against the spirit of Ramadan.
I'll take them.
Can't even do amphetamines?
I
I'll
mean,
take
it's there's no rule against it. It's just sort of like, well, that's the thing, is that everyone assumes like Islam. It's like all these rules. There's exceptions to like basically every rule. In the same surah in the Quran where it establishes you can't eat pork, in the same verse it says, oh, but you can eat it if you're starving though. Like it's not actually like you have to do this, you can't do this. Like there's a lot more flexibility into the system than like people assume there is.
Oh. Okay, here you go.
Yeah.
And he shoves his hand back out towards you.
No, I am saying I already don't want them. It's not that I can't; it's that I don't want them.
You know, I can respect that, Cap.
Thank you.
Don't you
Thank
think
you.
that it's...
So what was that, Scout?
I'm just worried how... I'm just worried for your health for the sake of the mission, that's all.
People have been fasting from sunrise to sunset for 3,000 years. I'll be fine.
Yeah, but people used to do like bloodletting. People used to like, if they felt like they were feeling a little under the weather, they'd let you put like blood-sucking bugs on your arms, and that was supposed to cure you.
I've been doing this since I was 12. Like it's just a skill you practice up. It's like working out or reading a foreign language. Fasting's a skill. You just get used to it over time.
Cap, excuse me, you've been doing massive prisoner exchanges since you were 12?
No, I've been fasting for Ramadan since I was 12.
Hordon lets a smile breach his face.
The real power move is you say yes, actually.
I mean, I don't know. Half the time I forget to eat, so Fuyuki just shrugs.
That's different. You shouldn't do that. Anyways, he says after getting this sort of nothing but silence to that.
And
God, why are we here?
So you are all brought to the hangar, and not your best dress on account of the fact that, you know, you're raggedy ass internationalists. The scruffiness is a part of the charm.
In our finest rags.
I've got my axe.
And we got Gimli over here. Don't worry.
Plus, it's a powerful image when the scruffy ones look like they're winning. I'm sure this could be very easily spinned by Rasivin in the ship newspaper.
Rasivin was putting dirt on all of the the MSs.
Rubbing the dirt into us. You need more grease stains.
He was weathering your gear before you put it on. Wait, didn't I wash this yesterday? What happened?
watch outside as he's in one walker frame, doing like near misses on another to give it some more scratches.
Oh my god.
Deranged. And you walk outside along with the Colonel to go meet the Federation delegation. The Colonel will go talk with the Commodore of the station, while you get to mingle with these blues, and orange thugs.
All right, red team, we need a sidebar. What chicanery did we prepare?
I'm gonna challenge someone to a duel.
The thing is that they'll say yes.
Yes, that might actually cause an international conflict.
I'm gonna shake
We're
their
already-
hand and squeeze
I mean-
really hard.
Okay, I suppose we can't escalate it, but
We
it'll
are
make
in a
newspapers and
war.
look really bad.
Oh, is that Hordon?
Oh, I'm gonna shake their hand and squeeze really hard, and he pulls out one of those little hand buzzers. I got this thing hooked it up to a 9-volt.
Zoifiya remembered a list of names of
This
civilians.
is the chicanery you came up with is too confrontational. I'm banned. You're strictly banned.
Strictly banned.
Sophia copied down a list of names of civilians killed during colonial boarding actions.
None of you all failed this assignment, but each of you failed it in a completely different way. I couldn't.
Hey, I didn't fail. I didn't do anything. I didn't do a single thing wrong. Fuyuki Ryu, always make the right choice.
Anyways, each of you failed it in a different way, though. So, I guess that's a classic red team moment. So what sort of room are we in? How many people are in there?
Yeah.
And out of character, what PCs are here?
It's everybody, player character wise. You walked ahead with your honor guard against their honor guard, normal stuff. And if you had to guess, excluding the fleet rifles and space infantry on each side, about 100 people here not standing guard.
All right. He sort of looks the blues ups and down, trying to look for someone who could roughly qualify as his opposite number.
Well, you see a major. You don't see any lieutenant colonels or colonels. So
Major's close enough. He sort of Zoifiya, come with me. He just sort of gestures, Zoifiya, come with me, and then approaches Blue Major.
Philippe's, a pair of reds come to approach you. It looks like a captain and junior lieutenant.
Well, Philippe will give them a salute in greeting and then hold out his hand afterwards. Welcome aboard, Captain.
He returns the handshake. Says, I'm Captain Jozsua ibn Yusuf. And he just sort of is, after the introduction, just sort of, yeah. My name's Jozsua ibn Yusuf. I'm a detachment commander aboard a ship called the Biennioro.
Major Guerre, Walker Frame Squadron Commander aboard this vessel. A pleasure to have you on board.
Jozsua, you look at this guy, and he looks like he's 22 or something.
If I may ask, how does one reason I came over here is you are, I believe, the youngest major I've ever seen. How exactly does one in your position come by that billet?
I believe, currently the youngest major in the Federation's history, as a man at least. I think there was one woman who was younger. He kind of ponders for a second before his lips twist into a polite smile, and he says, "Simple. Process of elimination, Captain." And for the record, Philippe has popped observant after they, exchange greetings and whatnot to see what read he can get on this red counterpart.
As since you have popped observant, you have made an empathy or investigate check on the two of them, acting as if it was a critical success. And so Jozsua, Zoifiya, what read are they getting? Also, I'm seeing some of the sidebar chat. Unless otherwise indicated, assume you are intelligible to one another. So everyone here is either speaking Cronian or Inner.
Presumably almost exclusively Inner. He puts
well, actually, not always. Because some people don't know Inner, but they both might know Cronian. It really depends on who you're talking to specifically.
I see. The read that Guerre gets on Jozsua is one of a tired professional who's doing his job his best that he can in the face of not extraordinary circumstances, but in circumstances that he's never been in before. It's a fish out of water, out of water.
I dig it. And
Zoifiya?
So you said
for Zoifiya.
I imagine, Junior Lieutenant, you'd see her sweating bullets and sort of look back at you and then back into a generic front, and then back to you and then back to the front of just straight, essentially.
Oh, this is my deputy, Lieutenant Zoifiya Miliband.
Philippe,
that name doesn't ring a bell to you.
Philippe kind of stares at her. Something about her seems familiar, and then he looks away and goes, "Interesting. Well, like I said, you're both more than welcome aboard the vessel. Please feel free to make yourselves as comfortable as you can be. I know it can be rather trying to walk into the enemy's camp with your weapons sheathed, but rest assured we don't bite."
He smiles politely and says, the both of us happen to be Jovian. In fact, Zoifiya here once went to Earth as a child, so we're actually not terribly out of place among Earth and Earth culture. But yes, it's certainly interesting circumstances. There's something of the old word of honor as an officer and a gentleman about this whole affair.
It's rather silly, but it is beyond our pay grade to criticize it, no?
He just sort of knocks his head to the side in a sort of, I guess. In our officer culture, the only real rule is that gripes go up the chain of command and not down. My understanding is that is not the case, and it is more, and federal officers are more expected to keep silent about anything they disagree with.
It's a charming quirk of your own military culture, I'll admit, though you have you've missed the mark slightly with our own, I fear. It is not that there is no criticism or complaint allowed, simply that there is a certain way of doing it. Though all that said, you mentioned your lieutenant here has been to Earth, and I must admit I'm rather curious. My family often hosted Jovians in our home on Earth, so I was curious, what part of Earth did you visit, miss?
He turns and looks at Zoifiya, not actually being 100% certain himself.
God, I have a question.
Yes?
Does she know?
Let's go for no for now, to make it more extra dramatic.
No. Okay, so she missed the name, because she
I
can't
don't
understand.
believe Philippe has introduced himself quite yet.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did?
He
Oh,
did.
then you have heard. Never mind.
Mhm.
Scratch that.
Okay, she does know. Okay, good. Oh fuck. She almost she begins like opens her mouth and then speaks in Jovian in Jovian Belter actually.
So Belter?
Oh well, like the like Camp's dialect of Jovian, I think is what you mean,
Thing
right?
is, that's still Jovian. It's not a Belter
That is
language.
She doesn't yet. She looks back to Joshua. Just I can't. I'm not unfamiliar with many intern language you were speaking earlier.
He says, my comrade is asking you to reintroduce yourself, Major Guerre.
Ah, of course. Major Philippe Charles Guerre, at your service, miss. And he'll say it in he switches over to Belter when he introduces himself.
Okay, she can't pretend to not know Creole.
Nope.
She introduces herself with a handshake. Junior Lieutenant Zoifiya Miliband.
Would it
Yes, as a. Sorry, say that again.
Philippe was just going to ask, would it be better for you both if we continued in Belter? He looks between.
He sort of, Yozsua says, Yozsua looks to Zoifiya, I'm good with what you're good with.
I'm most familiar with Creole, yes.
Then we'll stick to Belter.
This is by far the language Yozsua is least familiar with, so he's going to do his damn best.
On that note,
Zoifiya, the major. Oh, sure.
I would like you to
Scene change.
roll me keen academics, Jozsua, to see how well you follow this conversation.
Oh, okay.
At a -1.
Captain Yozsua. What was that? Keen academics.
Yep.
All right. Well, it could be better, could be worse.
I'm just gonna imagine Nora
threshold
doesn't understand a single bit of this.
Threshold
Nora's
is
blazing.
6. I rolled.
Nora's just staring.
Yeah, that's a -3, Chief.
3 failures? You're
3 failures.
You
Yeah.
are fucking struggling to follow.
Go
Mhm.
mine. With that observant crit, would it be fair to say Philippe is noticing Joshua is struggling?
Yes. As well
Then
as
Philippe switches pretty seamlessly between Belter and Inner to basically clarify for Joshua as he speaks to Zoifiya, and then back and forth.
You know what I'm imagining in this scene right now?
Mhm.
It's that Inglorious Bastard scene where
Oh,
Brad Pitt
yeah.
is pretending to be Italian.
Mhm.
Scusi?
So, as we were saying before, Lieutenant Miliband, what part of Earth did you visit in your youth?
It was okay. So, what would Zoifiya need to roll to lie? It would be.
I have a question. Are you banking on getting a critical?
No.
Because I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm just gonna let his observant keep rolling through this conversation.
That is
I see.
Philippe's one big strong thing here, eh? Like,
It's
His
your
ability
trump
to
card.
read minds is pretty without comparison in this. Yeah.
Thing is, it ends
Some
by the end of this conversation, and then he goes back to being extremely autistic.
European nation. You may not have heard of it.
oh, I was actually born in Europe myself, so which one? In the west, the north, the east? Not the south, I hope.
Well, it was as a kid, so my memory it's very hazy, and I believe it was a Western nation, but that's all I can say.
Oh, In that case, I suppose it must have been either France or Spain. Well, easy way. Was the countryside hilly or was it full of river?
I find it so amusing when you're
Question?
lying in this conversation that you don't have to be. Your ability to make it harder for yourself is very impressive.
Oh no, that's how. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's the Zofiya's promise. Yeah.
You sent a picture of yourself to Philippe.
Yes, she did. I forgot about that.
Philippe kind of blinks then as he kind of has a realization, and he goes, "Wait a moment. I do know you." And he kind of looks excited visibly to Jozsua. And he would clap Zoifiya on the shoulder and be like, "She did visit my family back in the day. Are you not my pen pal?"
Jozsua is certain he has misheard.
He clarifies again in inner to make it clear that he did just say that.
And now he is certain that Guerre is misspeaking. So he eyes over to Zoifiya, sort of takes one step closer to her protectively, and then gives her the sort of like, is this guy causing you trouble?
And he will pull out the letter and offer Zoifiya the picture. She's
Jozsua.
Oh, how did you get that?
Jozsua,
Yeah.
You see Major Guerre produce a letter and pull out a picture of Zoifiya in her bunk.
I have a feeling that all the subordinates are just looking at each other. There's like they're just like staring at their counterpart from across the room while this is happening.
Like,
with
damn,
like
that's
the face
crazy.
that we're trying not to laugh.
Yeah. Jozsua is just like Kermit worried meme, just like
No, surely
sort of
not.
like
See, this
this.
whole thing
Surely
weird
there's like
he lives
there
a
seems
fairy tale existence as far as he's concerned. So it's like, yeah, of course he does. He's like a prince or some weird shit like that. What else is new? Of course he knows
Nora's
random.
like a face of surprise for like a second and then disappeared.
John is
Jesus.
just
surely there's some kind of misunderstanding here.
No, Miss Miliband, did you not once? I shouldn't ask that; it would be inappropriate. But you went by a different name back then, did you not?
Indeed, it would. Jozsua's assumption is that his assumption is that Zoifiya is somehow being put up to this or pranked somehow. He is unwilling to accept the facts before him, which seem to present in no unobjective terms that Zoifiya is a blue spy.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't get a letter in return to you, but it is good to see you in person again. And he kind of just puts the letter and photo away again, smiling, and looks back to Jozsua and goes, I have a few pen pals among the Jovians, actually, from these meetings. It's not uncommon on Earth. A lot of us on Earth maintain contacts across the solar
Surely
system.
it is not common for a soldier in the... Certainly it is not common to have a pen pal as an opposite number in a war. And not just in a war in which one is fighting, but in a campaign in which both of you are present. Surely such a thing would be deemed unwise by at least one of the parties involved.
No, it gets through the sensors, no problem.
I think the censors may not be aware. I think in such an example, the censors may not be aware that one is speaking to a blue officer. He just sort of is like Zoifiya. He shoots at Zoifiya a what the fuck is going on facial expression.
I often sign my letters by name and rank.
Fascinating. He says, what an interesting phenomenon, he says. You know,
Yes.
As you may not be aware, we are often short. The IVA is often short-staffed on officers, and I actually pull double duty as the political officer for our unit, and such information will be readily shared along the chain of command. He just sort of looks
Excellent.
at Zoifiya. His assumption is still that Zoifiya is like being put up to this or is being coerced into this in some way.
Philippe just smiles and goes, "Would you like to exchange letters as well, then, Cap? I would love to discuss politics with you at some point."
No, thank you, Major. Despite my duty as the political officer, there are actually 2 political officers aboard. My colleague, Lieutenant Rasavine, would actually, I'm certain, be quite interested in the correspondence, though.
Perhaps I'll ask him myself then at some point today.
I just imagine Jozsua
I do
just
hope
points
you two
out
can
off
meet.
in the distance. Like, that's Rasavin right there.
Yeah, he's just right there, not saying anything, just off screen.
He's just out of earshot, talking to someone else.
All that said, allow me to introduce the rest of my team present. This is my XO, Captain Nora Callaghan. And he will, again, switch to Inner when he introduces Nora.
Charmed.
How long were they speak in a different language?
I mean, Philippe's been swapping
Just
back and
absolutely not
forth.
followed. Nora just says, "Pleased to meet you."
This is Second Lieutenant Jamie Weaver.
Hello.
And this is Second Lieutenant Jean Chevalier of the Belt.
No, you're forgetting one.
He nods.
Oh, no, I'm not done.
Yeah.
And finally, this is Lieutenant Courage. I think her name precedes her.
Courage Handsome?
The one and only.
In the flesh. Yeah, Jozsua can't help but remark on the slight oddity that every single one of can't help but notice the oddity that every single one of Philippe's coordinate colleagues or subordinates are women, which seems somewhat strange. And
Wait.
Whoa. Jamie Weaver's there.
oh,
Miss
it's a
Jeanne.
dude Jamie situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
You think... no offense, Frep, but I don't think you'd ever play a woman. That doesn't feel in character.
You're probably right.
Jamie's here.
He's a good to meet you all. My pilots are R2 Rafa mates are over there. He says, gesturing over to Hordon and Fuyuki, who I presume are currently trying to goad someone into shenanigans. Are you present though?
Yeah, we're here.
In here.
We're looking.
All right, I just sort of gesture to them. This is Fuyuki Ryu, and this is Hordon Hurst.
Well, Lieutenants, why don't you make the rest of our guests comfortable while myself and the captain continue converse?
He isn't able to sort of like, his sort of like upper lip sort of goes up in disgust as he like basically orders his subordinates to be servants for him. Just like, ew. As they're like finds this distasteful.
Nora just nods.
Something the matter, Captain? He looks back to Yashua.
Nothing at all. Certain differences in officer culture are becoming quite apparent right now, but I assure you they're quite immaterial.
Truly.
He said with an overwhelming tone of voice that he finds them quite material.
You're very bad at deflecting, Captain, if you don't mind me saying.
That's seen as a desirable trait in a political officer. Honesty.
I suppose it must be. Honestly, it's rather refreshing.
It's fine. I'll come clean. You use your subordinates as essentially servants. In Jovian officership, we follow a principle we call servant leadership, where essentially it would be reversed. I would be the one providing seating and refreshments for my subordinates.
Interesting.
Or too often, I might add.
That is an interesting difference, actually. Philippe kind of rubs his chin. Honestly, it's one we're not even trained to consider. Did you know that in the Federation we still get given aides to handle our laundry and other such affairs at times?
There's something that smacks of the 19th century in the Federal Armed Forces, I must admit.
It is all right, rather ridiculous at times, I'll admit.
Yet you participate in it nonetheless.
Yes, such is the burden of wearing the uniform.
Yet the uniform is not a meaningless symbol. One participates in its meaning in the same time as one wears it.
Which is precisely why I am currently reevaluating that last order. You've brought up a very valid point, Captain, and one I'm excited to show. I would like you to lead the way in showing me how it's done, then.
For one, I am. If I can happily tell your subordinates there is no need to wait on me, as I am an observant Muslim, and it is the middle of Ramadan right now. I am not taking food or water until sunset on Mecca.
Captain, I think you misunderstood something. I wasn't telling them to wait on you or myself. I was telling them to escort your subordinates off to go converse and relax themselves.
I'd rather have my pilots with me if it's all the same to you.
Very well. It is absolutely your call at the end of the day. We will all simply stand here and stare at each other.
Well, stand.
As sort of this tug of war of stubborn personalities goes on.
And as it is going on, we turned back to everyone else. Who is the first to break the silence? As both Captain Yusuf and Major Guerre have left to converse among themselves. They're still within eye shot. But...
Fuyuki will walk right over.
Let's throw Jeanne in front of him.
To just, I don't know, the assembled line of the blue pilots smile and say, "So I noticed you guys all have swords. That's standard issue for you guys nowadays? Or do you actually know how to use them?"
And Courage speaks up. I have been teaching them, actually. It is a recent addition to the regimental tradition.
I see. I'm a fan of sharp objects myself, and he pats the axe on his side. Then grins. But I know my way around a sword.
I'm surprised, Lieutenant. I thought pilots wouldn't be issued such an implement.
He just kind of shrugs. And I thought your pilots wouldn't be issued such a thing either. And yet here we are.
Nora looks at Fuyuki and then down to the axe. Undisciplined.
He sort of raises an eyebrow at that. Looks over. Excuse me?
Rather funny thing to say, Napoleon.
Hello?
No
He like
line.
tilts his head to the side.
She looks at Fuyuki. Just her face is kind of blank, but there's just an edge of like disgust to it. Your methods are undisciplined.
Oh, I see. All right, well, I figured out who here doesn't know how to use the sword.
I'm a pilot, not a swordsman.
The thing you fly has a big laser sword.
He just kind of like, holds up his hands and is like, okay. Not trying to cause any problems. I was just pleasantly surprised, I guess.
Hordon would come and back you up and look over at Nora. Honestly, I didn't strike you as the talkative one. Why are y'all so quiet?
Jeanne will be the first to speak up.
And
I
as
believe
you,
it's...
Jeanne, the rest of you would hear that Jeanne has a noticeably belter accent.
Everyone turns to look at her. It's like you've alerted the horde. I believe it may be because of the current tensions at the moment.
Tensions in Seoul.
The tensions in Seoul, one may say. Director, play the title cut. But yes, she will say, I believe it's because of the current tensions at the moment. The prisoner exchange was put upon us quite suddenly. I believe it may be the same for some of you. We weren't expecting to be conversing with pilots on the enemy
Yeah.
side so recently, or so soon. Suddenly.
Trust me, I'd rather be killing you guys in giant robots too, but not like we can do that at the moment.
Horton's
Zoifiya,
eye pops up.
Oh, so the feelings are mutual. That's convenient.
Zoifiya, as ranking
No offense.
Red Officer, you gotta.
She's going to actually just put an arm, like, in front. This is a rare opportunity. Please, let's try and be civil.
I'm being civil. I'm just being honest. I'm a soldier.
A soldier's job is not just for killing.
Kind of is.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, a real important part of it is we're not different.
It's the bigger part of it for sure.
He just
When-
kind of gives her a look.
If this exchange happening out loud, the only person in the whole conversation I find we were agreeing with is like the enemy commander. Great.
And John will simply go, while that might be the case for some of us, I believe it might be best to try and, well, if conversing won't go positively, we should at least try to stay out of each other's way and not cause any trouble. This, as the lieutenant says, Miss Miliband, Lieutenant Miliband, this is a rare opportunity.
when catching your
Well-
accent, Hordon would explode into Belter patois. What station you from?
Jeanne will. I need to get her profile 1 second.
Swappy brings out a big book, just starts flipping through the notes.
He will respond in a similar Creole. Nouvelle Rowan. Near the Jovian Greek camp.
New Austin myself.
Oh. Pulls
What
out
kind
the
of
map.
upbringing you have that brings you to the feds?
She kind of looks down a bit as she can feel the
eyeballs.
the eyes of pretty much everyone in the room on her from the red side. It was simply a stroke of chance.
Fair enough. Fate twines us all weird. Well, so far you're the only one I like, so if you want to go to a drink later, hit me up.
I think I'd like that.
Wait a minute, am I
And
understanding
Russ
this
was
correctly?
Don't like it's John in the back. Don't engage with him.
I'm also
John,
from...
John will get hit in the back and just kind of like let out a sigh and Miss Kill Them All 9000, let's bomb colonies, is telling her that.
Horde would slip you one of his dates.
Get it? Do you get it?
You know, actually,
Wait,
I
sorry.
like the funny thing about this is that Nora attacked along the fraternization line, not because of the rank difference, but because he's an internationalist.
John will-
Fuyuki will
Oh,
sort
sorry.
of like will sort of like raise his eyebrow again, seeing this, and he just kind of like glances over at all of them and is like, I still maintain that a soldier's primary job is indeed killing people, but, and then he spreads his arms out for a second, I am not here as a soldier. So I guess we're gonna become best friends.
Encourage us. So, what are you here as then, exactly?
I'm not really sure.
Real quick,
He just
2D.
kind of shrugs. I guess I'm here as a tourist.
I think you got the definition wrong. A soldier's primary duty is to be bored out of his fucking mind.
That is incredibly true. And then kill people.
And then kill people.
And then kill
Perhaps on the off time, Courage says, when time can be made for such things.
Yeah, I'd really like to restructure the balance of certain things, but unfortunately, I don't get to be in charge of that.
Such is the nature of the war.
Jeanne is kind of looking back to her team, as I believe she is being given looks of like, why are you talking with them?
Yeah.
I mean,
As she
we were
looks
told to
back,
play. We're just failing in
she-
that order real hard.
as she looks back to the red team, and I just kind of want to see how each of the red team is currently looking at her, because I think it would just be a very funny dichotomy.
Fuyuki's
Nora's
chilling.
giving the look almost like she would put you in a hole if she could.
Fuyuki is actually staring at Nora. Because, for some reason, some part of his brain, her voice sounds a little familiar.
Fuck's sake.
And that's kind of like getting under his skin a little bit. Because he isn't quite sure why. And he thinks he might know why. But a part of him doesn't want it to be true. Because
That would be
this would be quite the way. Yeah, that would be quite awkward. I mean, he had every intention of meeting that pilot again, but preferably on the field of battle, not in whatever the hell this is.
Not in social interaction.
What did you just say to me?
Who has the lead paint stare?
What the fuck?
I think it would be Jamie. So
What?
far, Jamie seems like he's having the lead
Definitely
paint stare.
Jamie, yeah.
What's the lead paint stare?
When you're staring at
Like he-
wall paint drying.
Oh, I thought it was because of the copious amounts of lead paint they ate as a kid.
I thought that was why it was that too.
But yes,
So this is just like the most miserably tense.
Jeanne
Do we have
is
any
trying.
duties currently, or are we literally just supposed to basically be killing time?
Yeah, mostly killing time. The point is the social interaction. Actually, Jamie, you see a very short man float on over, and he looks to all of you.
Short guy alert. Whoa, look at this. We got a short guy over here.
And he asks, "Do any of you have cigarettes?"
Oh,
Yeah.
Zoifiya,
Wait, just run.
Zoifiya, this is Runt.
Don't smoke.
No.
Sorry.
Run.
Runt, Runt looks at John then.
Ron, why are you going to ask questions you know the answer to?
Well, Swappy, do you have smokes?
I got smokes. Always have smokes. Only way to get a break around here. He pulls out one of his cigarettes and hands it to Runt.
Oh.
He then pulls out a second one and lights it up.
Well, thanks, Little John, but like we need to get more, and they give us the shit. I was
Well,
hoping.
you think they got better cigarettes?
I know we got better booze.
Just going out on a limb, if they light those up, do we in fact have better cigarettes than the
Yes.
red side?
Yes.
I was gonna say it probably smells like feet at this point, with whatever like scrounge tobacco you guys have.
Jeanne,
There's some
against
cannabis in there.
her personal distaste at the moment for alcohol and cigarettes, spots a moment of potential opportunity to make sure everyone here isn't 2 seconds away from slitting each other's throats, which I know seems like a far distance possibility. Well, except for Hordon, he seems chill.
Fuyuki's
but-
chill. He just said he's not here to kill anybody. He's
Well, yeah, no,
vibing.
it's true, but he would very much rather be killing people. But
You
actually,
did
sorry,
in fact
the
lead with
reds
that.
the reds are chill. The blues, mostly Nora, are about ready to kill people. So hearing the conversation about cigarettes and alcohol, she says, maybe we could perhaps trade.
Well, that's what I was looking for. He pulls out.
All right, who has cigarettes on my team? Who has cigarettes on my team?
So I got
Nora
4
will have
beaters of Jack Urban's own spirits. How many cartons are you willing to part?
Jeanne will think. And she'll look to the rest of her team, look to the reds. Give me 1 moment. And she's going to kick off towards the storehouse.
When she leaves, Fuyuki will look over at Nora. He keeps like sort of glancing like back over to Nora quite frequently, and then like kind of looking away, and then he just kind of shakes his head, sighs, and in that same like upbeat attitude, he just kind of turns to her, puts his hands on his hips, like, so, did you ever fight on the Newen Trail at any point in time in your life? Crazy question, I know.
Yes. Nora
I
says,
see.
looking over.
There's a sort of colder expression sort of crosses over Fuyuki's face, and some of his posturing kind of dissolves a little bit. And he's like, I see. Nice to see you again. And he smiles. I think I might know who you are.
Oh.
You don't remember me?
She looks Fuyuki over and just thinks for a moment. Oh, the lemming.
You told me to come find you.
Lemming?
Does everyone here just know everyone from your side?
Oh no, I hate her. I'm gonna kill her.
Well, Courage says...
Not right now, not right now. He holds up his hands.
Courage says, well...
I mean in fair, honorable combat.
How
in
romantic.
battle.
Courage says, well, this is certainly romantic, Jamie.
No, it's you. It's nothing like that.
I would disagree, actually. What is more
Whoa, do
romantic?
you think we can get a dance later?
What is more romantic than a deep, longing hatred?
We are literally putting on Much Ado About Nothing. Like...
Fuyuki kind of like, mock gags a little bit and is like, God, no, awful.
Well, are you not?
Nora's just looking at Fuyuki, almost bored.
But yes, I suppose it is a rather romantic notion in the classical sense, if you're talking about a fated duel between rivals that are destined to fight on one battlefield and another again and again in a never-ending cycle. I suppose there's some inherent romanticism, again, in the classical literature sense to that, of course. But that's a completely different definition from, romantic. Just clarifying. He's kind of like scratches the back of his head.
So at the storehouse, John is going to run up to the quartermaster, reach into her pocket, pull out money, her her money and slap it onto the quartermaster's desk. 4 cartons.
4 cartons.
I need it quickly.
Well, sure thing. He picks over the packs. And he picks up money. He puts it in the cash register and hands you back $1.50.
Thank you. And she's gonna take the money and take it, and she is kicking and running on the walls on 0 gravity because she does not know she can trust her team to stay with the Reds for like 3 minutes.
Correct.
Well,
should I roll something to see how fast I can get back to the hangar?
sure. Poise acrobatics, please.
That's 2 successes. I had a 5. I got a 4.
I see. So you start rushing back, and as you're rushing back, we return upon what Jozsua and Philippe were talking about. Which was?
So, how did you come to be my deputy anyways?
Well, like I mentioned, I hail from Earth, and my family offers our home out to Jovian tourists and those on pilgrimage. We think it's our duty to ensure that Earth's bounty is available to all the people of the solar system, not just the lucky few.
It's certainly odd, I suppose. Outside of the IVA, there is really no reason to be suspicious of relationships between our 2 countries.
A fair point.
So-
In fact, I wasn't even assigned to this sector until he kind of thinks about, oh God, how long has it been? Forgive me. Time certainly
4
moves weirdly here.
4 or 5 months ago? Less than half a year.
Yeah, and he'll kind of bring that up. Less than half a year in theater.
How long in country?
Less than half a year. Total. Before this, I was in the belt.
Doing what?
Peacekeeping.
Working as a liaison to try and make sure the colonials don't get themselves into another war crimes investigation. A rather futile task with how those...
Quite fruitless endeavor, I fear.
Unfortunately, yes. It is why your current situation here is almost inevitable. After all, I assume you study somewhat history as well.
We're communists. That's kind of our thing.
Precisely. Then you know exactly what I mean. It is precisely because the colonial administration is the way it is that we are even sitting here speaking.
It's true. Frankly, there's an old joke we call, any in the IVA, any sort of blue or orange general who's particularly, let's call them lackadaisical, we'll term them, the People's Commissar for Supply or People's Commissar for Strategic Affairs, because it is so frequent that a federal officer, in fact, proves themselves to be more of a boon to the IVA than to their own side.
It is, unfortunately, true. It is something that often radicalizes members of various positions in Federation society at this point.
People's Commissar for Recruitment, then. We don't actually have one. That's... You know what I mean.
I figured it's not. I'm not wholly ignorant to how your society functions, Captain, I assure you. Honestly, I'm quite curious of it most of the time.
Oh? Of what?
Well, as a federal socialist, it is natural to look to the Jovian Union as, in some ways, a model for areas the Federation can reform itself.
Oh, IVA is always recruiting.
As much as I'm honored, I would not immediately trade in my uniform for that of a traitor.
Why not?
Simple. I believe in the Federation.
Let's be serious.
Yeah, I suppose you can laugh at me if you'd like, Captain, but I believe in what the Federation was and what it can be remade into again. And as a result, I am here.
I think you and I might not see eye to eye on what the Federation's promises are.
Well, I would love to hear what you think it is then.
Federation? 9 corporations in a trench coat with an army. 2 armies.
But was
Or
it always
3.
that?
I always... Yes. Such
Not
is
in
the
the
nature of such is the nature of dictatorship of the bourgeois.
And that
Whether
is a valid
whether through
criticism. I think-
material whether through material force of arms or through ideological persuasion, there's only ever one category of individual who has ever been in charge of the federal system.
I have to disagree with you there. During the first Federation period, the corporations had been almost entirely sidelined. Nationalization was occurring at almost every level. There was a trend towards the elimination of capitalism as well. Honestly, when studying the Federation's history, one can view that first federal period as almost a tragedy in how it ended up developing. My
Right.
point is simply that the Federation
And then what
itself,
happened?
well, as you just highlighted, the dictatorship of the bourgeois took control again. But look what else happened. Is it not true that the Jovian Union only exists because that first federation banded all of humanity together and sent us to the stars?
No.
I would love to hear your counterpoint then.
Socialism is a historical inevitability. The material conditions make it so. Insofar as the proletariat is chiefly defined by its proximity to the means of is chiefly defined by its alienation from, yet immediate proximity to the means of production, communism is a historical inevitability. Jovian Union may not have existed, but socialism would continue to exist and will always exist, and one day be the only thing that exists.
Captain, I'd hardly disagree on that point, but I was referring to the polity known as the Jovian Union. As I just said before, I am a socialist. The Federation has a socialist movement. We even have a communist movement. Then, thankfully, one very separate from what our Earth-based communists would call communism.
You see, you do make a lot of talk of being a socialist, but I can't help but notice that the people you're killing also are mostly that.
It is unfortunate, and it is something that, honestly, I'm not sure I've grappled with yet. But, at the end of the day, I believe in democracy. I believe in my fellow citizens. It is not my role as a soldier to go against the will of the mass bodies of the Federation. And if they wish to plunge us ever further into the abyss of history, that is unfortunately their choice, and the Federation is doomed. I choose to have hope that they will wake up. You're free to call me a fool, if you'd like.
Foolishness is up to the historians and Allah. It depends. We'll see how things go, but if I was seeking to make the Federation a better place, I wouldn't start in Saturn.
I would not either.
And yet you did.
I have received my orders, and I came. To do otherwise would have been to betray the uniform and the privileges I have been invested with. Privileges I disagree with, but nonetheless privileges I have benefited from.
As they say, the IVA is always recruiting. You're actually the type of person that we profile for selection, actually.
So I've been told. It's why I'm usually investigated by my fellow federal compatriots quite frequently.
You know, when you said that, Jozsua, I just imagine you pouring over to Corkhead is like, yes, one of your number.
Indeed.
But again, I have my qualms with how your nation does things. I think it has gotten much right, but I think it has gotten much wrong as well.
Care to elaborate? I've certainly done plenty to insult your homeland.
Well, I would not want to insult it, but I think we can both agree that the current state of women's rights in the Jovian Union are far from ideal.
We would agree on that, but Where I would say we differ is that the state of women's rights in the Jovian Union is improving. I would say that the state of workers' rights in the Federation is rapidly diminishing from an
A fair
already
point.
not great perspective.
No, a very valid point. In fact, it is one of the reasons why I'm not surprised Largo Knots has gone the way he has. After all, it must be frustrating to see time and time again your measures to improve the situation fail.
I think that the EU and the Lunan corporations differ in what they think improving the situation looks like.
Well, I think the Lunan corporations, candidly, are traitors who are usurping the functions of the state, and if the Federal Assembly was to ever order the Space Force to deal with them, I would be happy to be deployed there rather than here.
You and I both know that's fantasy.
Indulge a man his fantasies. After all, we are living in something of a nightmare at the moment.
Well, therein falls alike upon the just and the unjust.
Truly spoken.
I should probably attend to our pilots. We have certainly left them unattended for quite some time. I really would hate to cause an international incident.
Yes, I tried to brief my pilots on that as well. I presume yours are behaving themselves of the highest standards of the IVA.
We're already... The highest standards of the IVA are not uniform, but I trust my pilots.
Philippe will stand up and nod and says, "Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you, Captain. I regret that you
Indeed.
would not take me up on my offer to be pen pals, as I think the conversations would be rather fruitful, but I respect it all the same. I understand it can be
Lieutenant,
rather odd."
Rasavine is more your speed. if you must pick a red officer to correspond with, if I had to pick, I would also pick Rasavine.
Well, Miliband's no spring chicken herself when it comes to the finer points of debate.
He sort of like grimaces still.
You,
He isn't able to hide his grimace.
you disapprove of the correspondence, Captain?
I have skepticism as to the nature of the origin of the correspondence and its precise contents, but
Well-
I'm not certain I want to know either.
Is there any way I could alleviate your concerns, Captain?
No.
And here I thought you might ask me to cease the correspondence.
That's not up to you. That would be going around that would be going behind the back of one of my closest friends, and that was something I would not do.
You're a good man, Captain. And Philippe offers him his hand again. It's been a pleasure conversing with you.
He accepts the handshake with perhaps an over firm grasp.
Philippe doesn't seem bothered, just smiling sincerely.
As Philippe walks away, Yozsua thinks that man is a child.
And what does
Basically,
Philippe think when he walks away? And
well, this is why we're losing.
although in Philippe's defense, he is only like 22. Bro should not be in charge, and yet he is. And when you return, John, what do you find, everyone else?
Listen, Miss Courage, I am simply saying that the practicalities of a sword are far outweighed by that of a bar. I can use this device, and she shows what she has on her, the strap on her leg, and it's like I can use this device to pry open a cockpit or to perhaps clear rubble from a building.
Be that
And
I mean, I
if
think
I
she's
need
got a
to, I can use
point.
it as a bludgeoning.
I mean, I think she's got a point, but honestly, I think between sword, bar, and axe, the winner is obviously axe. Though again, I'm no stranger to a sword.
well, consider
If you'd like me to demonstrate, and he smiles.
Sadly, Lieutenant Ryu, I have given my captain my word that I will not get into any physical altercations. My apologies.
Oh, well, what if it's not an altercation? Just a little sparring between temporary friends? And he smiles.
And Lieutenant Miliband, you've failed to consider the tradition involved in officers clad with swords, especially us walker frame pilots, as successors to the cavalry branch of the military.
Well spoken, Lieutenant Courage.
I mean, I totally see the appeal. It's incredibly cool to walk around with a sword.
John is gonna walk in with the carton of cigarettes, see Philippe, and just kind of try to shuffle out of sight a bit as she's gonna try and go to the guy with the alcohol to do the trade.
Wait. You all have to be officers to pilot?
Correct. Every member of my team is a commissioned officer and an academy graduate, or at least the cadet program.
It is
You
incredibly
see,
boring.
and Yasha pulls up. You see, Hordon, they only allow nobles to pilot their iron chariots.
Captain, is that the same in the RMMA?
You forget the warrant.
No, we have
officer.
warrant officers. No.
And all of the supermajority of your officers are former enlisted men.
I believe,
Oh,
despite
yeah.
the pretensions of the walker frames being a part of the infantry, there are still some carryovers from the days of space superiority fighters' dominance in the military hierarchy. At that point, all the pilots were officers as well, so I imagine it just carried over.
Yeah, this carried over, that carried over. I mean, you can change things about how your order works if you don't like it.
I think
That
they're
is-
somewhat averse to be doing things on purpose in the Federation.
I've noticed this.
Oh, Captain, you're funny.
John is going to hold out the box of cigarettes to the guy, and she's gonna say, 4 cartons for 4 liters. Sound fair?
Sure thing.
Hey, Runt,
Yeah.
got a cigarette?
Yeah.
Philippe looks in that direction and just sees Jeanne handing over 4 fucking cartons of cigarettes. He just
It's
looks
over.
relieved.
100 cigarettes.
Nora makes
500.
a sigh and then walks back over to fall back in with Philippe.
John will take the 4 liters of alcohol, give him a quick belter thank you, and kind of like float back over to Philippe's side.
A good trade deal, Jeanne.
Thank you, Major.
Why are you thanking me? You took your own initiative to get it done. I had no part in your labor.
I simply thought it would be a good opportunity to socialize as you asked us to.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Jeanne is, let me pull out her sheet.
Just how big is Jeanne per?
She is 167 centimeters. In feet, that is 5'4".
Pretty.
So shorter than Fuyuki, got it.
Small,
So,
tiny.
No, wait, taller than Fuyuki, my bad.
Oh, Fuyuki's. How tall is Fuyuki?
I can't remember, but I think I made him around my height. I think I made him like 5 foot, which I
That's
am
a lot
an inch
walking up
shorter
to
than
do.
that.
looking down at Jeanne, Hordon would then look over to the captain. You got finally graduated to Big John?
You know, it's bad luck to pick a call sign.
Philippe kind of looks over to Hordon and goes, Little Jeanne. Is that a reference, perhaps?
Why, yes, it is.
I can admire the thematic parallel. I hope that doesn't make me the Sheriff of Nottingham. It's not a role I ever wished to play.
I think you're more Prince John in this allegory.
Prince John? Now that wounds me, Captain. You can say whatever you wish about my country, but do not compare me to an English monarch.
You know what I imagine in this exact moment, Quix? Jozsua is struggling to remember where England is.
Which one's England again? Yeah.
Wait,
Yozsua sort of just like smothers his brow in confusion, having no idea what you're talking about.
I was like, who's King John?
Prince
King
John.
He was king at one point, and he ruled during a period known as the Second Barons' Revolt, where he attempted to raise unjust taxes on the barons, and they raised in revolt to overthrow, First Barons' Revolt, to form Magna Carta, which is still one of the foundational democratic documents of our federation.
So democratic that allowed the king to only do whatever he wanted to normal people and not barons.
Precisely.
Other question. Who was Nottingham?
Nottingham's the bad guy, and he's the bad guy in Robin Hood.
Yes, and Nottingham itself is a province in England, and essentially the sheriff was a officer of law enforcement within the region.
I don't know. He stole material from the bourgeoisie.
The sheriff?
No, that was
No.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Prince John's the bad guy in Robin Hood.
Precisely.
He's the guy they're stealing from.
No, I thought it was just all the rich.
It's rather complicated as the story
was pretty simple. It was steals from the rich and gives to the poor.
Yes, but the story's undergone several evolutions. Even at one point, the Plantagenet, during the era of the Plantagenets, they tried to make him a nobleman, for example.
This happened?
No. What are y'all talking about? That is literally the story.
Robin Hood the basic oversimplified cultural understanding of Robin Hood is, as you're saying, but the story's gone through a lot of different complexities and iterations. That said, I see no reason with our personal understanding of the story Robin Hood and the way we translate it to the meaning of your call sign being stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, but you can't ignore the finer points in the actual history of the tale and how it's come to be what we understand currently.
See, I'm just now learning for the first time that this actually happened and that Robin Hood was a real guy.
Well, he's a portmanteau of several different English outlaws throughout the medieval period of Earth.
As is how it tends to go.
Major, my inner is not that good. I have no idea what you just said.
What? Oh, no worries.
Okay, so basically...
We're going to discuss books.
I feel like you have...
I really love these internet connections.
Y'all can't include y'all's fanon in
I'm so
this
sorry.
story.
I'm so sorry.
What's the word? What's fanon mean? It's 1982. You have to explain this to me.
All of these terms are that term existed in 1982.
Oh, really?
Thank God. Oh yeah. Basically, all modern fandom terminology originates to the 70s from Star Trek fanzines.
Yep.
Philippe goes off to get some stools, and then we'll offer the stools out to those discussing books.
Fuyuki will join. He looks equally as excited about fighting things with his robot and talking about his axe as he does to discussing literature, it seems.
And
so, I suppose
as the two of you walk away, Jamie, I believe you wanted to do something.
And just while everyone's having this intense conversation on history and literature, he's just gonna settle in. So what's the story with you and the sawed-off pilot there?
She looks over to Fuyuki, and she thinks about it for a moment, thinking whether or not she should. Back when I served with Devers, I had some habits. She taps the sword. I hope to find more fun out of combat, so I fancied making rivals of sorts. Their unit was torn apart, and then I marked their suit to make sure they would know. Nothing more than that.
Swappy?
Yeah, what's up?
Swap, we're getting what sounds like a Japanese coming over your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. It's Korean.
I was just about to ask: is it Limba's company
Nonetheless,
this time, or is it Uma Musume?
It's Limba's company. Please continue with your Robin Hood discussion.
It was a foolish habit, and I see it's come back again.
Huh. I never would have had you pegged for the type, Captain.
I'm not.
It was a phase.
But you were.
She gives him a look as if, like, just don't cry. Was that all?
Well, for now. How do you say hopeless romantic in Cronian?
Hopeless romantic. She just says it in Cronian.
Continuing the question period.
And
But- It's just established Nora is just a recovering courage in Weaver's mind from now going forward.
recovering courage.
No.
That's crazy.
I hate that.
That has foul energy.
If you ever said that to Nora, she might kill you on the spot.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But you know what? It has slightly less foul energy. Fuyuki and Philippe getting stools.
And Hordon.
Oh, Hordon's there as well.
Yeah, Philippe brought stools for whoever wants to join Robin Hood book club time, as he's bringing out like an old ass copy of Robin Hood from like the 1930s in Old County.
Yeah, yes, the
Now
old Callaghan.
quite free. Yozsua's gonna try and find Zoifiya.
So Hordon mainly just wants a chance to learn why people kept coming up with the names of the merry band without them ever actually being mentioned to him.
Well, you know, Hordon, that's a very interesting topic. One of the leading theories is that as the story spread across regions, different people would add their heroes. Think of it like this. If a modern edition of Robin Hood was made today, there would probably be a hero of the Merry Men from the Belt, from Luna, from Saturn.
Who do you think... Who are your nominations?
My nomination?
If you were going to write Robin Hood in a modern setting, who would you pick?
Well, Robin Hood is, at the end of the day, a man of England, a man of the country, so it would likely be dependent on where we set it.
What if we
Like-
were to set it in Revolutionary Saturn?
That's very interesting. So, at that point, it wouldn't be Witterin. I suppose it would be the Bandit King, technically, by process of elimination.
That is what I was thinking.
That Napoleon Maniac?
Yes, he is a bit of an... Oh, he is kind of like Napoleon. Ugh.
Wait, Horton, Fuyuki, you thought he was French. Shouldn't they like that guy?
I would have figured you to be the type who would enjoy Napoleon.
I can admire him for his contributions to the school of military thought, but at the end of the day, he overthrew the Republic.
I see.
I'm a firm believer that a man of the military should not take control of the affairs of their own republic. Exist as extensions and symbols.
And that's why I say, while I might have plenty of ideas, I'm not a politician. More at home in a walker frame than I ever would be in front of a crowd.
I think you will not find me disagreeing there. But ultimately, again, he betrayed the Republic. Quite a few of my people died fighting him. And then he plunged all of continental Europe into a brutal war. He failed at the first duty of a ruler, which is to keep his nation prosperous and peaceful.
I see.
But as for, I suppose, if we are comparing the Bandit King to Napoleon directly, he cannot be Robin Hood. So it would have to be some other bandit in Sad. I don't know of any, by name at least.
What about Lieutenant Hajun Basset? He did a famous raid on Baker's Point back in, I think it was 319. He sold a bunch of unities.
Oh, thank you, Urban. That's a very good suggestion.
And for the rest of the audience, he was also responsible for the Jeanne incident where he took President Veteran hostage to force her to restart the United Front with the communists.
I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be him. What do you think? What do you two think?
I think that's a good pick.
I think I could probably name 16 belters that deserve it more.
That is a
fair
good point, actually.
I mean, the belt struggle has been going on longer. Do we wish to reposition the story to the belt?
I would love to.
All right, let us place Robin
Why
Hood
don't
on
we?
the belt.
First nomination.
The black mark.
The black mark would have to be Robin Hood then, surely, Hordon?
The problem I think that we might be running into here is that it's all too often these heroes that get titles and names and glory, these ones who do a brave act and, like you're saying, end up sort of becoming the simulacrum of everyone who fought along at their side. It's the one name that's remembered. It's the one person who gets to live on in history while everyone else just becomes, I mean, it's unfortunate, but to put it bluntly, just more corpses, more bodies in the void.
Well,
I think what Hordon is,
Oh, go on.
I think what Hordon is hitting on here is that very often it's these leaders that we idolize. Napoleon, for example, when there are so many individual soldiers fighting and dying and trying to claw their way into trying to be remembered, who often end up falling between the cracks. Just like so many of the people who die in the belt.
Indeed. Well spoken.
Y'all
Thank
say
you.
a lot of words.
I was actually deployed to the belt for a long time. That's why I learned the Belter Creed.
Hordon's eyes narrow.
First time I ever almost
Deployed
died.
to the belt, huh?
First time I nearly died was actually in a back alley on one of the stations.
All right.
Proverbial glass on the ship.
He kind of runs the shit.
Back of the major's head.
The only reason I survived was because I actually had my voting record on hand.
Do you still have your voting record on hand?
Would you like to see it?
Yeah, actually.
He hands it over.
I think I'm kind of curious.
I have no shame in who I vote for within the Federation.
Hordon starts reading through it.
Every year without fail, it is Federation Socialist Workers Party. Every single time.
You're a strange individual, Blue Major.
Hey, Cap!
Oh, your captain already knows. I'm afraid he doesn't think highly.
Yozsua looks over to Hordon.
We like this one, right?
raised. Better than the others.
I'm afraid your captain
No,
doesn't think highly of me, Sergeant, but thank you.
Our
Fuyuki
captain doesn't
leans
think highly of
forward.
a lot.
Fuyuki leans forward, kind of gestures at the paper, and says, I wonder then, if you are so committed to making a show of how you wish for change, and yet you still fight for the government that you do not support?
It's an excellent question. And would you like to know the answer? Truly.
I would. That's why I'm asking.
I was
I
born on Mother
sincerely
Earth.
I mean no offense. I'm trying to understand.
No, I understand. And in that case, I'm happy to explain it. I was born on Mother Earth. On Earth, there is very little of the issues that afflict the solar system. Most people on Earth could not even tell you that there is a war happening on Saturn. In fact, most of my extended family barely knows anything about the war on Saturn. The only reason I knew anything growing up is because my family have been in the military and the diplomatic corps since the birth of the Federation. As a result, I grew up with a life that you would only describe as privileged. I never went hungry. I never went thirsty. I never had to worry about affairs up here. But at the end of the day, that racks up a debt societally. The people of Earth benefit greatly from the Federation and take on none of the responsibility for the Federation and its actions. So, I took responsibility. Now, unfortunately, some of those idealistic reasons behind commissioning have been tested by my deployments and my lack of ability to affect change on a direct basis. But what did we just discuss of Napoleon? He was a military man who worked against his government and the will of his people. As I told your captain just a few moments ago, I think the Federation's citizens are continuing to vote to send us closer and closer to the abyss. But if I was to disobey those citizens, I would be working against the spirit of the democracy I swore to serve. A conundrum, you see.
I see. But I suppose where I would interject is on the devotion to serving such a democracy in the first place. If one can so clearly see how there are so many cushioned and comforted by such a society, and if there are so many who are simply trampled underneath its wheels, you must understand, I guess, some important context. I'm from revolutionary Saturn. My parents were revolutionaries. I've been fighting for this. Everyone I know has been fighting for this. I've been in this war since the second I was born. It is hard for me to see a perspective outside of this. And when I see something that is so obviously broken and people so obviously hurting, I must do something about it. It's violent, yes. But so is a lot of change.
I understand completely. I will hardly gainsay the choices you made.
But I suppose that is where I don't understand. How you can understand that which you do, and yet you still wear the uniform you wear.
Well, let us consider the alternatives.
Yeah, join the IVA, it whips.
Based.
If men of conscience did not serve in the Federation military, did not engage in the politics and attempt to change things from within the system, I fear that the Federation would rapidly turn into a mirror of these colonial administrations which have so failed you as a citizen of Saturn. That's reason one. And that is a fair point as well. But I truly believe in the Grand Union. The idea that all of humanity, all of us, are part of one flag and one people. I don't necessarily care the color of that flag. But I am worried that as these wars conclude and more states break away, and if the Federation should fail, we will see a repeat of my planet's own history. I'm unaware of how familiar you two may be with that.
I'm familiar.
It is simply put, the nation-state is an outmoded construct. What we are seeing is the reinvention of the nation-state in space. That worries me. The Jovian Union and the Periphery Alliance do not seriously posit themselves as an alternative to a unified humanity. A cooperative humanity, and for that I applaud, but not a unified humanity. Ideally, and I do sincerely mean this, what you both have suffered from should never have happened. And for that I can only offer my sincere apologies as a Federation officer, as hollow as they must run. But I believe you, both of you, as a Belter and a Cronian, deserve every right and comfort that I experienced on Terra. Unfortunately, it is rather difficult to convince others of that when there is conflict. So, in a roundabout way, I suppose to summarize, I believe in the mission of the Federation. I'm hoping to serve the Federation and make up for the debt I have accrued to its society as something of a leech from my perspective. And to try to bring about a peaceful resolution here. If that peaceful resolution is our defeat, then we have earned it. But it doesn't change my responsibilities to the uniform.
You certainly are an interesting one. And he kind of laughs a bit.
A rather foolish fellow, really, when it comes down to it. Do you know what they call me over here?
Well, what do they call you?
In the belt, they called me Heretic.
Rad.
I suppose so.
That is a pretty good call sign.
But I do what I can, so as a citizen, I vote. I support the cause as I can to try to push reform. But as a soldier, I have a duty and an obligation.
May I recommend you a book? It's called Combat Liberalism by Mao Zedong.
I don't think we should seriously be discussing Mao, considering what his project on Earth turned into.
That's a useful book, he says, sort of still looking for Zoifiya.
And you find Zoifiya talking to...
Jeanne, smiley face emoji. So let's maybe
Zoifiya and Jeanne can have the conversation first. I can wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we should rewind the clock a bit.
You think
So,
you can
Jeanne with-
join in on the conversation if you'd like.
Oh yes, let's have the captain. Let's have the two commanding officers of the red team talk to the belter on the blue team. I'm sure this won't lead to anything happening.
Kill
They're
your
just gonna
kill
both-
your
they're-
superior officer. You'll be reincarnated as a lotus flower.
They're gonna like corner and be like, join the IVA, join the IVA, join the IVA, join the IVA.
You should consider it.
Thing is,
yeah.
We're a good hang.
I feel
Jozsua could come in, but let's maybe have some Jeanne and her and Zoifiya first, as you know.
Yeah, Jeanne and
Jeanne's
Zoifiya first. Yeah, definitely.
As you know, Philippe is starting his book club. Jeanne is going to shuffle away, holding the liquor bottles, but she's going to look to Zoifiya, as you know, Philippe just kind of really just abashedly be like, "Oh, you're my pen pal from the other side of the conflict." Jeanne will just kind of approach Zoifiya. Junior Lieutenant, ma'am.
John, correct?
Yes,
Is it for you? Oh yeah.
I suppose you may have already heard of me if the Major has spoken of me before.
In short letters, yes.
I see. Well, I suppose it's nice to meet the person that the Major has been exchanging letters with. I've had to sometimes hand deliver your letters when the Major was too busy to receive it himself. I never looked through them, must I say.
There's nothing embarrassing in them, I assure you.
I see.
Not about you. There's a little bit of stuff in that's embarrassing in them.
Just the photo of her on the bunk. Nothing embarrassing. There's a...
But she took
Also,
herself because she
the
wanted to pretend.
homosexuality allegations.
And lied for no reason. And she
And
told
lied for no reason.
that her roommate took it. Who doesn't exist.
What photo? I never took a photo.
I never took a photo. I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy.
Zoifiya will respond back in perfect Creole. It's a pleasure to meet you, though forgive my hesitance in the intentions of your relationship.
My relationship?
A federal officer going to the belt. It's
I've
how would you say?
been questioned about that many times, ma'am. It seems to be my most popular topic of discussion amongst people.
I apologize. I don't mean to question Philippe. I don't think that of him, but still.
I do.
I do. This is Jozsua in the defense.
I question Philippe's harem. Yeah, this is weird as fuck. I'm not afraid to say it.
But
He's just a weird little guy.
She'll say, I joined with the Federation because of the Major. Yes. Yeah, I've told you, as I said before, it was a meeting of chance. The Major was stationed at my home, and we had met in a church. And I suppose he simply took a liking to my way of thinking and offered to help. I'm
He's,
sure you don't... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Infectious personality. I can understand that. You said you were from where again?
Nouvelle Rowan. It's not exactly a major station, so I understand if you haven't heard of it.
No, I have. Near the Greeks, yes. We could be related for all we know.
That would certainly be something. But yes, if I may, the Major has... I'm sure I don't need to tell you the situation for people living on the belt. The Major simply managed to find me, took a liking to me, and next thing I knew, I was having the opportunity for my family to move to Earth, the center of the solar system, as it were. I guess I'm simply working off that debt. But maybe that's not the right way to put it.
Please don't put it, even if it's only for yourself. If the Major heard word of you thinking like that, then, well, it wouldn't be
I
good.
don't like it. I understand why so many people might find it strange for me to work with the Federation despite their lack of attention to the belt and the way the corporations rule over it, but it's as you say, he has an infectious personality. Maybe it's just I believe more in the Major's idea of the Federation than I do of the actual Federation itself.
It's romanticism. It always is. It's how I see another superior officer of mine and how he looks at the world. It's not incorrect. It's not an incorrect way of looking at things, but it puts everything into a box. It's those convictions, that willingness to die for a cause that doesn't exist. It's all immaterial, their visions. What matters is the material. What matters is what you're doing. And what are you doing?
I see the pitch.
She kind of looks to Zoifiya and she says, I don't believe I've figured that out myself, ma'am. I must sound incredibly foolish, don't I?
You sound like a human.
She sighs. She gives out like a small, like, relieved chuckle / sigh. That's the one thing I would really want to be.
I'm not going to question your faith in the Federation. I'm sure any answer you'd give me would be a carbon copy of his, and that's no offense to you. I
Apologies,
just
ma'am.
think
I simply... I guess I'm simply just not educated enough to really understand the intricacies. You know how it is on the belt. It's more
No.
worth it to work than it is to learn.
But that's where you're wrong. We are not stupid because of where we come from. We are not idiots because of our education or of our formalities or our labor. We have the right to determination. We have the right to abject thinking just as much as they do. Do not look at yourself lesser because of where you come from. Be proud of who you are.
She'll nod. Thank you for the kind words, ma'am. I'll try my best to think about it. Perhaps I've just been beaten down too much. I knew that I wouldn't exactly be looked fondly upon by either side, really, for my decision, but here I am. For the Federals, they look at me and scoff at my religious beliefs, and I believe for some of the men on your side, they probably see me as an idiot or a traitor.
It's also confusing. You don't owe him anything. You can still follow your own path, even with your family on Earth.
My own path, huh? Hey, I think this is a good time for the captain to walk in.
The captain walks in.
You should
Both captains walk in.
I mean, I can't imagine a more
We can't
more
deploy a
awkward
tactical
interaction than Jozsua and Nora, if I'm being completely honest.
Tactical Nora.
Tactical
like-
Nora.
Yashua's like, there, Philippe, the ineffectual federal socialist. But why? He's not really a monster. I wonder who's the monster. Nora enters the room. There's the federal officer.
The humble
It just sort of
Nora.
wow, I forgot to mention it, but I actually concealed this kinjal in my boot before we came over. Can I kill you right now?
I'm just imagining Nora just sees John talking with one of the Reds, and it's just like while John and Zoifiya are having this like kind of like heart to heart because of I guess we are kind of tied up with Philippe. It's just Nora like this. For the audience, it's the gif of I forgot what the police officer's name was, but if you've seen Cloudy with a chance, if you've seen Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, it's that the gif.
Zoifiya, may I have a word in private?
Yes. He looks over to John. Sure. Yes, Common Captain.
He
It'll be a
gives
moment.
John a nod and ma'am, and then Zoifiya, and then he finds somewhere they won't be interrupted, and says, "So, how much of what the major said was true?"
What? Everything. It's true.
Did you know he was on the other side of the line?
For quite some time now, yes. Saturn is a big planet.
It's not that big of a front.
Bigger than we've ever seen since the Second Space War.
You know the odds that you two are gonna have to kill each other are not zero, right?
It's a war, and it's the nature of things.
He says everything you've ever said to each other is past the censors. Is that true as well?
I don't see how it couldn't be. I've never had to be audited. I've never had to be censored. Though, then again, maybe the right people just aren't paying attention.
I just feel like this is the kind of thing you ought to have told me.
It didn't seem important. I wouldn't want to worry you. You're always so busy.
It didn't seem important? You've been holding a personal correspondence with a federal officer in the same theater as us. I knew you were hiding it. I knew you've been hiding it this entire time. Jozsua's getting animated now for the first time ever. I know you've been hiding something from me. I assumed it was a correspondence from home. I just never thought it could have been you in bed with the enemy.
Bed?
You know what I mean.
Comrade Captain, that is highly inappropriate.
Highly inappropriate. Highly inappropriate. You know what's highly inappropriate? If we were in the RMMA, you'd have been shot, and you know that.
I stand by my decision. It was a correspondence with a friend, nothing else. I gave my life to the Union. Does she not... If we cannot think critically of the enemy, if we cannot think critically of the other, then what are we? Are we not barbarians?
We can think whatever we want of them. We don't need to be writing letters to them. We don't need to be informing them, willingly or not, of our troop movements, of our disposition, of the staffing and personnel and morale issues within the force, the 1,000 tiny secrets that slip through in any contact. You're not stupid. I know you're not. And I know you're not blind to this. And so I ask again, how could you... How did you let this go on so long? How did you keep this going? How did you not break off the correspondence when you were deployed? I wanted to believe he put you up to this. That this was coerced in some way.
I don't have anyone else. You know the life of a noble. My mother, she's busy. And I grew up, I had one connection. One. And I thought it was the one I could hold.
You have us, Zoifiya Miliband. You've always had us.
My name's not Zoifiya.
What?
My name's Maria.
Oh.
When I became an adult, I changed it. It's from a hero I admire from my home in Novinets.
What do you want me to call you?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
I am Zoifiya to you, and that is all that matters.
Zoifiya, you get a say in how your life goes.
What are we fighting for? We are fighting for something greater than us. We have always been fighting for something greater than us. We do not have a say in how it goes because we need to sacrifice. We need to keep pushing. We need to keep moving. If we allow ourselves
We
to
allow
slip,
ourselves what? Slipping. You're the one lecturing me about slipping.
I've given my life to her union, and you know this. My everything.
I don't anymore. If I'm being honest, Zoifiya. I thought I did. Now I'm not so sure.
I've killed for her.
But you couldn't
really
stop
doubting my
writing
loyalty?
letters. Yet you couldn't stop writing letters to an enemy major for her.
It's... You are killing yourself with your duty. Just allow me one thing.
If it were, Zoifiya, if it were basically any other vice, if it were anything else, if it were methamphetamines and heroin, that would be different. But this is an operational security risk. This is an intelligence nightmare. I was locked in a room for 20 minutes with that man. He's savvy as a knife and keen as a whip. Zoifiya, he's manipulating you. There's 1,000 things that slip through. There's 1,000 things that can slip through a letter. Even the timing of how quickly it turns around tells you how far away the enemy ships are. If you say things are going well at work, that means morale is high. If you think things are going well, that means morale is low. There are a dozen things that a sensor could never catch that would still make it through even a little bit.
He's
misguided, but he's no fool. He's naive, but he actually believes the things he says is the most dangerous kind of all.
If this is such a risk, then why haven't I been caught already? The
You
sensors
probably
already
have.
know about it. Exactly.
He probably has. We're in the IVA. It's different here. And admittedly, in the RMMA, it doesn't count. It's different. Our countries are not at war. If the RMMA were at war with them, things would be different.
You say this as if the IVA isn't... If we aren't just the periphery... Just...
Zoifiya, I can't let you have this. You know I can't. Don't make this go on any longer than it has to.
What I do with my life and in my free time is not the business of you or the Union.
It quite literally is. I'm your commanding officer and your deputy for political affairs. This is my direct responsibility. Your correspondence with Major Guerre is an information security hazard, and you're forbidden from it from now on.
Oh, what? And if I get discharged, you're going to send me back to Novinets where I will become a breeding pig for you?
Zoifiya, why? He puts his hands in his. He puts his face in his hands. I know this means a lot to you. I know this correspondence means something to you. Can you just let Fuyuki and Hordon, maybe even me, be something to you as well? We're actually here. We're not going to shoot you if you come up in our crosshairs.
I thought you were something. I thought... I really thought you were like... Zoifiya she like slams the wall, very noticeable bang, and just storms off almost like a child.
And
Jozsua just watches her leave, his face red,
yeah,
the burning, empty feeling in his stomach.
and we return to everyone else. What are they talking about?
So you see, in some versions of the story, Richard the Lionheart comes home, and Robin Hood is actually a loyal patriot of the king.
Well, that just feels like entirely undercutting his character as established in other iterations of the tale. But again, you have to think about the historical context in which that version was written.
Yes,
Hold
the
on.
material
Not that I
conditions
know
somewhat-
personally, but if I was to chance a guess, it would be furthering certain beliefs or agendas, as is often done subtly and covertly through art.
Well,
It's hard to look at art, especially historical works, while completely ignoring the political context into which they came into being.
well, then Courage says, well, you also have to remember, during the age of absolutism, kings were friends of common people against the nobility.
That is true.
Hordon, I believe you were going to say something. Philippe cuts in to give the sergeant room to...
I'm trying to piece this together. Patriotism towards his fellows or patriotism towards his country?
There would not have been a difference in that era from the perspective of many people.
You see Hordon's like head explode on the inside at that. I don't know, because you got the people and then you've got the state.
Philippe, by the way, did bring a stool over for Courage as well once she gravitated.
Well, that's how we see it and how you see it now specifically, but it has to do with how these things were presented in the past.
It doesn't help that as well. Richard the Lionheart was part of the Devil's Brood. Philippe grumbles under his breath and continues. And then when he hears a loud bang, he kind of looks up and is like, huh?
Courage, unperturbed, says, oh, sir, not a fan of Henry II? I hope that's not a go my fault. I think it's
No.
Henry II.
It is Henry II. That was actually spot on. You scared me for a second. I was like, wait, Courage, it knows ball. No, I'm not a fan of the Plantagenets or their little Angevin empire that they carved out. Who could have guessed?
I don't presume conventional opinions with you, sir. I don't know. Perhaps you would go on a tirade about how it shows about the interconnected history between England and France.
Philippe realizes he's been trapped, and he just kind of concedes to Courage with a dip of his head. Well played, Lieutenant. Well played.
Fuyuki turns to Courage and is like, is this the officer you said would duel you if you didn't get into a fight with anyone?
That is true, Lieutenant.
Ah, I see. So you have robbed me of my fun. And then he smiles, a rather good-natured smile. It's like,
Yes.
as I said, I'm quite familiar with the sword.
I grew up learning it myself. As we are often wont to say in my family, we have served in the military since the 13th century, which is where the first Guerre can be found as a knight on the king's register leading a lance.
Wow,
Oh, you're
I wish I
purebred.
knew my family history going back that far.
Please do not say purebred again, Hordon, please. I will pay you money to not say that again.
My
You
family
can
also
extort
does not
me for
recall
every
that.
Fed doll I have as long as you do not say purebred again.
I will take a Fed doll just as a trinket. I don't know what to call it.
Well, do you want a 5 or a 20 or 50 or 100?
I like saying fiver.
Philippe will rifle around in his wallet and then hand 5 Fed dolls over to Horde. Who's on the 5 Fed doll?
On the 5 Fed doll. Oh, so on the 5 Fed doll, it actually changes depending on where it's been originally printed. There are several treasuries around.
Let's say this is an Earth Fed doll.
It is the very first secretary of the United Nations.
Ah, yes.
Doug
This will
Hammerwell?
be
I,
quite a trophy hoard.
What's his name?
I think it's Kular. I believe, if I'm not misremembering, which general secretary is which, because the carriers in the Soul Federation are also named after general secretaries of the UN and the federations.
What actually will this get me something on your ship?
I don't think they serve reds at the commissary, but in theory, I think it would.
Oh, whoa! Feds and discriminating.
But I assume you call me Blue Major.
I don't call you anything. I didn't know you existed until today.
Yes, but
Philippe.
Fuyuki just called me Blue Major. Like, less than 10 minutes ago in this conversation, Horde.
Yeah, but
It may
2D's
have
got a
been
lot of
me.
anger in a little package.
Oh, you
I
were
got
you
a
were
lot of little
talking
anger
about
in a
it.
big package.
Ah,
Just
fair point,
weak.
fair point. Well, I suppose, in theory, I could take you down there and see if they will let you redeem that for something.
That'd be dope.
Oh,
What's inflation like?
it depends where you are.
Also, I had another question. What'd y'all have for dinner last night?
Courage, what was it?
I believe for dinner, we had soup.
I thought it was the stew, the beef stew.
Was it a stew? I thought it was a soup.
I believe it was a stew, a beef stew. The beef stew with carrots, and then there was a side, but I can't remember what that was. Captain Nora, what was the side last night?
Sir, a side?
Yes, what did we have for dinner? We had a side. What was?
Sir, I didn't eat.
Oh, damn it.
Jane.
Courage, do you remember? Because it's blanking from my brain.
I didn't have enough time to process what it was before I ate it.
Fair enough. Jamie!
It was the same mixed vegetables we've had the last 5.
Oh, that it was. That it was. Well, it was better than that dinner night with the governor.
Was that also beef stew?
Fewer assassins.
Certainly. No, we ended up in a scuffle with Crony and Dare to Die forces on foot, so we had to use our knives and engage in close quarters. It was a rather
You fought
touch
Dare
and
to
go
Die?
affair. We did, in hand-to-hand combat, and we survived.
Wow.
Color me surprised and impressed.
Grant's
Color
head.
And then
me
Fuyuki
surprised.
kind of like
We had
tries to backpedal on his like. There's a moment of like genuinely looking impressed, and then he kind of like pulls back from it.
yes. We had just caught them after
surely
they
a lie.
had ran roughshod out over an entire hallway all by themselves.
Yes, they had almost gotten the administrator as well, I thought.
These stupid things did come in handy. Tap. The handle
Do you
of
remember
these sabers.
you remember the look on the mayor's face and how he was promising us medals?
Well, you did stop us from all
Westchester.
blowing up.
Fair, but I did want to punch the man. I really wanted to punch him.
Yes,
Seems you've
good.
been
Dig
going
into
on
your
all
anger.
sorts of wacky adventures.
Oh, it's like it was pitched in the recruitment packet. What was the slogan, Jamie, for the Federal Space?
Second to none.
No, not the official one.
Travel the solar system, meet interesting people, and kill them.
That was it, Captain. Good to see you.
I'm gonna have to bid you all adieu. I'm gonna go back to the ship. I appear to be in something that doesn't agree well with me.
Oh, I understand. Well, you have
Was
a
it the
lovely.
date?
to Rafa if you need anything. Talk to Rasabine.
I have a question.
Yes.
How far did they walk away from Jeanne before they started yelling?
Plenty far away. Plenty far away. It was just her and me. And no one else knows
Imagine if John was just sitting there during all of that.
Well, I suppose since your captain has retired for the evening, the only thing I can do is see that you're all fed.
Be honest, I feel like if y'all ate in our ship, y'all would have a nice meal for once. At least something varied.
Well, we'll have something varied before your offensive begins, John. Never fear.
Oh, do they give y'all steak before y'all have to die?
Naturally.
I'm sorry. Go out to combat. Sortie. My bad.
You need not apologize. Everyone here is aware of what we have been called to do.
And for whatever side it happens to be, he done for.
Precisely.
Jeanne is just kind of sitting by herself. She kind of feels like a bit of an outcast at the moment.
Jeanne, we're going to get some food. Are you coming along?
Oh, yeah, that sounds nice. She seems very a lot more timid than usual. Probably all the
brow. And then looks to Nora at first to see if Nora did anything just out of habit.
Nora
looks almost spaced out.
Dissociation.
Nora,
you learned it from the best.
Nora, will you be joining us or will you be remaining here?
Yeah, I will be joining.
Excellent. Where's Lieutenant Miliband?
Considering Jeanne, the last thing she saw was Nora getting pulled away from a captain, and then from that same direction being a very loud bang.
That's true. Yeah, you're gonna have to apologize for that hole you punched in the drywall.
Drywall? What's drywall? We have no drywall here.
A hole you punched in the tinfoil.
Tinfoil? That's metal. It's wood.
Hey, I thought they shattered the fucking ceramic bulkhead with their fist.
We're on a federal ship. It's metal.
That is right.
I think Jeanne has kind of pieced two and two together, because I don't think that's exactly hard to figure out. Your major just brazenly revealed he was having pen pals with an enemy. Then the enemy leader, the commanding officer of the enemy pilots you were talking with, just came up to the recipient of said letters, said they needed to quote-unquote discuss something. They walked away. Roughly 5 minutes later, there was a loud bang from that direction of someone punching the wall. I think it's safe to say Jeanne could probably piece two and two together, as she'll say, I think Lieutenant Miliband may need some time for herself, Major.
Understandable then. Well, Fuyuki, Hordon, since it appears you two are the only ones around at the moment, I will take it upon myself to escort you with my men down to the commissary, and we will let you taste some federal food so you could be the judges for yourself.
Why not?
Oh, and since Hordon got the 5 fed dolls, I think it's only right you take this as a token of your time here. He hands over the book to Fuyuki.
Oh, really? Thank you. And he looks he looks quite happy. He like kind of like fans the pages for a bit. Man, this is, how old did you say this was?
Hundreds of years at this point, I'd wager.
You said the 1930s?
Oh my god,
so
the places this must have been.
That must be, over 400 years old.
Yes, and there is a list of owners, and almost all of them have the surname Guerre in.
Nora looks to fully.
Wow.
Sir, we're at the point of trading books now?
It's a gift. At the end of the day, it's our responsibility to foster education wherever we go. Remember, Nora, we're here as peacekeepers.
Right.
Yeah,
Even when
okay.
there is any peace left to keep, we must continue to behave in a certain way and behold ourselves to a certain standard. Otherwise, our Federation truly is due.
Yeah. You were doing a lot of peacekeeping in Nugan.
He looks over.
Oh, were you not there? I realized that Nora here and I actually know each other.
Oh,
Well,
interesting.
know each other is probably putting it strongly. We fought against each other back in one of my first deployments. She actually what was it? Brutalized most of my squad, killed several of my friends, cut open my cockpit, and told me to find her one day in the future to finish the fight.
Philippe just
Then he
kind of
smiled.
slowly turns his head over to Nora.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not personally hurt by it at all. I'm just glad she's still out there. That means I get to finish my fight.
Right.
Nora.
This is rather
Biggest lie.
medieval and
This seems
and
deeply unhealthy.
John is just sitting there with the expression of this woman is going to get us killed.
Right. Well,
Does everybody know everybody?
I was starting to wonder that myself, Hordon. I thought.
I don't know the rest of you.
Well, either way, this is the commissary, Hordon. Go over, offer the 5 Fed dolls, and see what you can get.
I'll accompany him.
We're all accompanying him, Jeanne. We're right here. We're in a gaggle.
Well, no, I thought they were gonna go to the thing.
Oh, we're like standing in front of like the window, and Philippe saying, "This is where you go. Hand over your Fed doll."
Oh, okay, never mind. Then I retract my statement.
I give the person my $5.
He looks at you.
One. Hordon sniffs. Is that beef stew?
Huh?
What do you have? What is this?
That's chocolate. The fuck he's talking about a beef stew.
Y'all are having chocolate for dinner?
No, this is the
Why not?
commissary. You go to the mess hall for that.
You only have
Congratulations, Hordon.
chocolate for $5?
He brings it up and hands you back a single dollar.
What do you got for $1?
Nothing.
Why do you have this denomination then?
For when you go into a colony.
There's actually talk of retiring the Fed doll, like the single dollar bill soon. It's not really used for much these days.
I can see. I do open the package and eat the chocolate. Is it real chocolate?
Yes.
Half expecting cardboard spray painted brown.
However, if this makes any difference, it's not like a European chocolate. It's like an American one that stays.
I was about to say, is it Hershey versus nice European chocolate?
Yeah, that's what it is. But it is real chocolate. It's not something.
But why did this? Reminiscent of vomit.
I thought you were about to ask why did it cost $4 then?
Philippe
No,
looks
it
somewhat
was-
dejected as the chocolate is compared to vomit, and he would just kind of go, "Oh, I quite liked it. Usually, it's not anything like what's on Earth, of course, but
It's nothing like
never mind.
French chocolate. No.
Never mind." He waves it off.
Felipe, it's like when you go to the mess hall and you drink the coffee there, and you're like, man, this coffee's all right. It's not great, but it's all right. And then you go to a cafe while you're stopped on one of the stations, and you're like, that's a good cup of coffee. And then you come back to the mess hall, and you have that same all right cup of coffee, and it tastes like dog ass.
Interesting.
That's what this chocolate is like to me.
I'm not quite familiar with the phenomenon myself, but I'll take you at your.
That is a very painfully rich
do
statement of you, Philippe.
Yeah, it's almost like he's rich. Is the thing.
It's just like you're really hitting me in the face with it.
It's if it's the red blue team crossover, it's the only time it makes sense for it to really hit. Is that like Philippe is basically an aristocratic fucking knight? Like,
Yeah.
there's some charm. It's like Joshua said. There's some charm there, but also he's rather cunning, but also he's rather crazy.
Also throwing in the fact that you were just going to freely offer Hordon a $100 bill.
Exactly.
Yeah, I noticed that bit too. It was quite
And
funny.
then
You see,
Hordon
well,
not
the
really
other thing
getting
is,
the concept. It just goes, yeah, the $5 sounds cool.
Now,
well, it's like
if you-
the reason Yozsua is so freaked out is these are all sort of the kinds of thing a person cultivating a human intelligence source would do. Like,
Exactly.
this is the behavior of a person trying to recruit, of a spy master trying to recruit spies.
What you don't
Exactly.
realize,
No, it totally makes sense.
what Joshua doesn't
Yeah.
realize is that Philippe is
Is that he's
extremely-
actually straightforwardly just like this.
No, that he's accidentally a natural cult leader. Without intending for it at
And
all.
what is a spy master if not a more specialized cult leader?
Well, Philippe will turn
What
over
would-
to Nora and be like, Captain Callaghan, I believe you and I have something to look over briefly. So for the moment, we will leave you in the company of Weaver and Chevalier. Once you've all finished eating or enjoying the commissary, and in fact, as Philippe says that, he just kind of hands 100 Fed dolls over to Weaver, like a cat without looking at it. Make your ways back to the hangar. Obviously, you would not like to be left behind when your ship casts off. It would be rather unfortunate to go from guests to prisoners of war through a misunderstanding. Granted, I'm not sure we could hold you two. He kind of chuckles and walks off with Nora.
And hence, the two commanding officers leave you.
Rasavine's still here, don't worry.
Oh, great.
You're forgetting one other, Joshua.
I am?
One very important other.
Oh yeah, Markovic is also no, not Markovic. Is it Markovic or the Basha?
Both of them are around. They're somewhere aboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I figure I'll eventually bump into
I think
Markovic
it'd
and
just be
have a
one or
moment
the
of,
other,
"Oh,
but
was
oh
that
well.
But I want to give the junior officers and honorary enlisted man.
Honorary enlisted man.
No, just what he just said.
Wait,
Philippe might fall for it too. Is the worst part of inviting him on board the Russo.
Just to kidnap him?
Fuyuki would be so down for that plot. That's the problem. This is the kind of shenanigans he lives for.
You made a great infantry officer, Fuyuki. If only you were taller.
If only you were taller. No, so Fuyuki puts his hands on his hips and looks over at the remaining two blue individuals, and he's just like, all right. So, what's your deal? You've been awful quiet. And he gestures at Weaver.
I didn't have much to add to the literary analysis, I suppose.
Ah, I see. Though you didn't have too much to add because you felt yourself too good for it, or didn't have too much to add because you were out of your conversational depth?
I frankly had no idea what you all were talking about.
No, it was quite simple, but I guess some people can't follow.
Weaver.
No hard
what the hell is
feelings.
Robin Hood?
Weaver, I've
What-
never
what?
understood a word they've said.
I don't follow all these Terran children's stories.
Well, if you think about it, it's actually quite a bit more complex than just a children's story. If you think about the way there's different iterations of it through time, it really tells you a lot about the different cultures and people who were telling the different iterations of the story. That, in my opinion, is why I find it so interesting.
You know what?
Both that and how Robin Hood as a symbol can continue to be something that means things to people after so many iterations and different tellings of the same myth.
Weaver, you really should come to one of our book clubs. It's just like this all the time, and you learn to glaze over and go along with the flow. Oh, and then
I
you
think
interject with like a small like antidote. I don't know. I'm not good at
Anecdote?
words.
Anecdote.
Yeah, that one.
Anecdote.
Yeah, that the anecdote. There you go. That one. You pull one of those, and they go, "Why, Hordon? That was quite profound of you." And then they go back to talking and smelling their own crap, and then you're at least a familiar piece of furniture in the conversation. It does wonders for your social ladder climbing.
I don't think you're a piece of furniture in any conversation, Hordon.
I think it's
All
going to be
enough
hard
to
to
sit on.
attend book club on a enemy warship, but I could be mistaken on that front.
You join the
Apparently, you
NBA?
can send letters back and forth.
I mean,
What's a live video
Is it
feed?
me, or do I
Going to the
feel-
wrong part of space for that.
Is it me, or do I feel like the Jovian captain keeps whispering in my ear to join the IBA?
He's not whispering.
No, actually.
I mean, I guess we are
you
taking
look
volunteers.
around,
We are the IVA.
You look around, and it's not him, but instead a different Martian man telling you to join the IVA.
John looks to him with just an expression, and then like slowly turns her head back. Oh, well, I'm not too sure about Weaver, but I also volunteered.
Why is that? What do you think you're out here accomplishing?
Well, it's more so that I believe I have something to pay back to someone.
To who?
It's
Is it
obviously
perhaps
they're-
to the denizens of my home that you've decided to come in, start pushing around and telling what to do? Or is it someone else? I'm curious.
I think it's the belt.
Yeah, it could
Well-
also be the belt.
Yeah, can't rule that out, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Who could, it's curious. She decides it would probably be best to maybe try and leave the Philippe anecdotes in the back, as she'll say, well, yes, I think that if maybe the Federation could change, like the Major says, maybe things could get better. I heard that there was movement recently in the Federation to finally give the belt more rights, along with, the Jovians. Am I remembering that
And
newspaper right? By the way,
Cronians.
It's failed, I believe.
It did.
sorry. Yeah,
Fuyuki
sorry.
kind of
She meant Jovians. That's just a slip of my tongue.
Cronians.
My bad.
Cronians. People from South.
Fuyuki sighs, rolls his eyes, and are just kind of like, oh, all this talk about changing the Federation, how long is it going to take you to realize that the damn thing is rotten from the bottom? After a certain point, you just have to cut out the rot, else it spreads.
She kind of looks down a bit as she says, in a way, that's also changing it, I guess.
Who decides how much you cut out, though?
How much is what you cut out choking people trying to live? Look, it's like I was saying to your Blue Major. If a system's broken, if it's hurting people, if it's killing people, it's your duty to try to change it, is it not?
Sorry, could you repeat that so I could like internalize that? I was reading the comments.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I said, if a system is broken, if it's hurting people, if it's killing people, isn't it your duty to change that? And after a certain point, or, and he pauses for a second, if you're an outside element like myself, you don't really have the luxury of trying to work your way up in the organization and sweet talking a few people here and doing a few favors there and hoping that maybe someday down the line, maybe legislation will give a few more people human rights. No, us outside elements don't really have that privilege, do we? We have to claw and fight to even be heard, and even then, we die in nameless droves over and over.
Mr. Director, this was before Yozsua left, he would check in with Rasavine to make sure to step in if anything gets a little too intense. This is sort of the exact type of thing he was talking about, so it might be Rasavine may want to step in for a minute here.
All right, let me put on my new mask. 1 second.
Sorry.
I think we should invest
They
in a-
didn't care who I was.
You see, he would have just had his deputy be in charge, but now he and his deputy are not on speaking terms. So
No, I told that. No, I was supposed to kill the ship driver. What ship driver?
Rasavin walks over and with a little wide smile on his face that's a little too wide. It goes, "Comrades, what's all the excitement about over here?"
Oh,
John
I'm
is-
simply engaging in well-spirited debate.
Well,
John is-
spirited debate is for comrades, not the enemy.
It's a good point. Then I
Damn, he
suppose,
got the
what is that
point.
phrase? What is the phrase? Preaching to the choir? Now, that phrase wouldn't exactly be appropriate here. It would more be preaching to the deaf.
Fuyuki, what are you talking about? Just simmer down. Let's take it from boiling back to a low simmer. Your passion is good, the energy is good, but this is a delicate diplomatic meeting. Hello, by the way. I am Rasavin. Good to meet you both. He nods to Weaver and
Rasavin.
John.
And John with her noticeable belter accent, because I like putting John in situations. Hello, nice to meet you.
Oh, you're a traitor. That makes more sense how this got so heated. Fuyuki, just
Yeah, a little
because
bit.
someone's a class traitor does not mean you can undermine a diplomatic meeting over.
No, I wasn't trying to undermine a diplomatic meeting. I
Then
was
simmer
simply trying to...
down.
Okay.
Remember what we talked about when anger gets too high? Breathing exercises. Now, I apologize for any offense my good comrades here may have caused.
Just gonna look sideways at Jeanne. It's like, were you more offended by us being called deaf, or you being called a traitor? 'Cause the
John
traitor
is
one
alive.
is more insulting.
How's
John,
it an insult? It's just a statement of fact, an observation of neutrality.
John's face.
I'm never leaving Rasavine in charge of anything ever again.
You see, and Rasavin sits down at the table. You see,
You're spiritually a blue.
there are only two types of people in the world: the workers and those who oppose the worker. You, miss, he looks to Jeanne, are a worker of the belt.
She nods.
Are they-
She's
So why fight for the people who are oppressing the belt?
She doesn't even know anymore. It just ended up like this.
Ah, but that is ceding your personal autonomy. At any point, you could make the decision for it not to end up like that. When you take your hands off the steering wheel of fate, you cannot be surprised when the car goes over a cliff.
I'm at the biting end of Perry's characters. This is scary. uh, John just kinda This has been such a great thing for her mental. Actually, I'm gonna reduce John's mind health to 0. By the way, can I do that?
Right, the Rasputin effect.
Also,
Yeah.
this is the point that like Weaver is wholly unprepared to help you out on. He has
Now
no
you-
tools at disposal for this.
Mr. Gentleman, why are you fighting for the Federation?
So I want to be a walker frame pilot?
And why did you not go
Fair
into
enough.
industry?
Sorry, what was that?
Why did you not go into industry?
Well, that's just like flying them around. That's not,
I see. So you wanted to do something cool?
well, challenging.
Ah, so killing our comrades is a challenging bit of entertainment. I understand. Rasivin just smiles and stands up. Well, Fuyuki, Hordon, I believe we've heard enough here. If you two are done, I think we should be returning.
Well,
I agree.
one, Rasputin, we did not get to eat. 2, there's this guy you should meet.
Hmm?
There is this guy you should meet.
Major Philippe
They eat each other.
Where?
A major of the Federation?
Yeah.
Fuyuki, Hordon, what you are seeing here is exactly the makeup of the average federal fighting soldier. A mercenary and a clueless child. There is nothing to be gained from eating with them, other than a free meal. And I assure you, I can cook my grandmother's secret recipe much better than anything they offer up here. Now let's be off.
I agree. There's not much to be gained. I know everything I need to know about these people already.
Now.
John, from one John to another, I will let you know I am disappointed. Do hope you make it out of here, though, and learn from your mistakes. Ciao. And
Don't
then leaves.
worry. When we take her prisoner in the inevitable victory of our great revolution, she will learn.
It feels very unsettling considering what I've just heard about the Union.
I mean, I feel like this whole thing was meant to be deeply unsettling.
Yeah.
After all,
John,
we Belters have to stick together.
Huh.
And Rasivin leads the other two out, collecting them like stray ducklings.
See you on the battlefield, Fuyuki says, and then he goes.
Ugh, mercenaries.
Guess
Rasivin
so.
shakes his head.
They're fun to kill, at least.
Fun has nothing to do with it, Fuyuki. We have an obligation and a duty to the revolution.
That's true.
Besides, if you really want someone fun, you should go after Courage Hampson.
I've heard of her. I tried to challenge her to a duel, but that blue major guy I mentioned apparently talked her down from it. Unfortunate.
Well, at some point you should ask your captain about opportunities to join the hunt for Courage Hampson.
Oh? His eyes kind of light up a bit.
Certain members of the IVA feel that Courage Hampson's benefits to federal morale can no longer be ignored.
I see. Well, I would absolutely... I like a challenge.
Talk to
And
your
a
captain
smile.
about it. After all, these feds are probably going to hole up in this fort and die like cornered rats. So there'll be plenty. There won't be much opportunity, but who knows?
I'll take
And
what I
the
can get.
Rasivin leads them off.
And we turn to Nora and Philippe.
Oh, god damn.
I was always going to do this. Sorry.
The hot seat.
So, Nora, what was all that about?
What's that?
The villain monologue?
Oh yeah, that.
Just some past
Indiscretion?
called glory. Yes, something like that.
That's not going to happen again, right?
That happened before I was married.
Yes, but you're divorced now, are you not?
Yes, it's something I was told I should not do anymore, so I don't.
Oh, all right, I understand. Well, that's all I had to ask.
I could see that coming back a few times in terms of she kind of makes the hand movements of pointing out something. The Yuki's case.
No, don't.
Well, they're already marked, so
Why are
I
you...
don't think I could take that back.
Captain Nora. Captain Callaghan. He places both hands on her shoulder. Please do not beef with a teenager.
Sir, this is going to be a one-sided beef, as they would say. I already
Yes.
forgot about them.
Well, wait. How many years ago was that?
I was still in Depersy, so I was 20.
How old are you now?
I'm 25 now, sir.
Would that boy not have been around 12 or 13 when you did this?
It was a long stint.
Philippe has to stop himself from yelling and takes a breath as he brings his fist to his mouth and takes a deep breath and is like, okay. We cannot change the past. Captain Callaghan, please do not bully children in the course of your duties. Going
Sir, I'm
forward.
already past that.
I'm very glad to hear you're past bullying children, but I feel I have to verify that. Callaghan, you're a good soldier. You're a good officer. We can't undo the mistakes of our past. The only thing we can do is be better on the next day. There is no point in engaging with that boy at all. Do not respond to him. Do not respond to his provocations. If you have to fight him on the battlefield, kill him quick and get it over with. Or preferably, take him prisoner. Please. But no toying with any of our opposition. I do not want to see anything like the behavior he described in this scene.
Sir, that was a past mistake.
I understand it was a
long
past
since
mistake.
learned to just get
I
rid of
understand,
them.
but I am still throwing that out as an order now to make it absolutely clear it will not be tolerated. If you say it's a past mistake, then there is no issue. Simply obey the order and continue on as you are.
Yes, sir.
But that boy is likely going to try to provoke you. That was hatred I saw in his eyes, or at the very least a desire to hunt you down for... Now, I cannot imagine a child in a walker frame is really going to be much of a threat to you, but we must acknowledge that you have essentially provided him with motivation to develop over a 5-year period. And I must also consider the fact that he is at an age where in our own past, he would probably be close to being knighted. So, do not underestimate him, but do not let him provoke you if we encounter him.
I could see that, sir.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, thankfully, this has gone well so far. There's been no real incidents. I'm sure everything will be fine, and we'll get through this, and we can get back to work, and everything will return to.
You hear in a pretty thick accent behind you, Philippe says, excuse me?
Ah, yes, hello. He turns.
You turn to see a internationalist senior officer. He looks kind of scrappy looking, scruffy. The opposite.
Philippe offers a salute.
He returns it. It's just trying to make acquaintances.
Ah, well, I am Major Philippe Guerre, commander of the Walker Frame unit stationed.
Ah, I see. He offers his hands.
Philippe.
Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Markovic, making your acquaintance.
Philippe is immediately like frozen up, starstruck style. Like met one of the most famous people of his lifetime in the flesh.
Thing is, he looks
"Oh,
like oppressively normal looking.
it's an honor, sir." I must admit, I did not expect to be meeting a legend in the flesh today. And he releases the hand after the.
Well, I figured I'd come out. Makes everyone think twice, good or bad, about crossing the white flag and the sanctity of truce. It's something like this. If I'm around,
I can say if I had been planning anything, I certainly would reconsider knowing you're there. You nearly shot me down only a few weeks ago.
that was right. That was on the 5th. It was, I believe.
I'm surprised you remember, sir.
I think that was our last engagement.
Ah, I see. Freshest in mind, then. Philippe just kind of stands almost at attention, like he's being inspected.
Well, you're awfully young to be a major. Battlefield promotion?
Yes, sir. Process of elimination, as I say.
Ah, I see. Well, if it's any consolation, I'm too young to be a lieutenant colonel.
I suppose that makes us a pair, sir.
You had some very good pilots with you.
Very fortunate, sir.
He nods.
After all, good pilots means an officer can coast on their coattails. He jokes very clearly.
Well, the point of piloting is supposed to facilitate the effectiveness of the unit, not the other way around.
Well said, sir.
And then he turns to you, Nora, and says, "And you are?"
Philippe starts praying to God and Mother Mary in his head.
My name is Nora. Sir.
This is my executive officer, Captain Nora Callaghan, sir.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
She almost thinks about it for a second and then raises her hand to shake his. Pleasure to have yours too, sir.
He looks around and says, being in a place like this almost makes you think about being back home.
Where's home, sir?
Oh, no, it's just border duty. I bet that the fortresses on your side of the border are much the same as they are back on the Union.
Well, for my own stint there, that would be the case, sir.
Fighting here doesn't have quite so many of these. He looks around.
Yes, but I feel much better knowing that we can shelter him.
Well, this is a rare opportunity to meet one's opposite, at the very least.
I would not be so forward as to call myself your opposite, sir.
Well, you are opposite of us on the line, so I suppose whether you'd like it or not, that is what you are. As am I. I'm your opposite.
I suppose, sir, but the measure of talent between us is, there's a rather large difference.
I'm not so sure about that, at Comrade Major. I don't consider myself a particularly talented CAG.
Well, I suppose you make up for it with an abundance of talent as a pilot, Comrade Lieutenant Colonel.
But
Nora gives like a little bit of a confused look at Philippe, but then just kind of puts it away just as fast as it showed up.
But there's only one of me, and I can only be in so many places at once, and time is an undefeated champion.
True, sir, though at this rate, I suppose it really is a question of time.
He smiles at the joke. So, where are you from, Major?
I come from Earth, sir.
I see. Long way from home. I suppose we both are.
Yes, sir.
Well, I won't bother you too much more, our Comrade Major. So I'll bid you adieu.
No bother, sir. You enjoy the rest of your day. And he offers a salute.
And you too, and he salutes back. Good luck in the battle to come. And then leaves.
Philippe looks back to Nora like, holy shit.
You seem a bit starstruck, sir.
He's the greatest Walker frame pilot alive, Nora.
I see. He's different.
He's inspiring. Honestly, I wish I could present as that normal. When I try to present like that, I always end up doing something wrong in the presentation, so this gives me away.
I don't believe so, sir. As long as you're true to yourself, sir.
I suppose, but it is rather ironic to have the leader of a Federation unit be a Earth-based aristocrat.
But Nora looks like she was going to say something and then stopped.
The joke practically writes itself, Captain Callaghan.
Yes, sir.
That, right there, that man is a legend. He knows he's a legend, and yet it doesn't bother him in the slightest. That is inspiring. And yet he also seemed rather sad.
Oh, he is
suppose-
with him, sir.
Well, I suppose we'll all get that look in our eyes eventually.
You know, Philippe, as you think about it, he has been fighting here for the last 8 years, non-stop, almost.
Exactly. Like, we'll all get the Cronian stare eventually. But still, I think, forgive me for being rather starstruck by a figure who history will remember. You and I might just be a footnote, but that man, he'll have books dedicated to him.
It's... I wonder if people like him are the reasons why this war has gone on for so long.
No, I don't think so, unless you would like to blame Courage Hampson for the war.
I wouldn't blame it all on them, but They have been quite successful.
Well, that is the nature of the Walker frame. But unless you're going to travel back to the first Space War, there's no putting that one back in the box.
Right.
Besides, it was the same way as during World War I on Earth. There were plenty of flying aces during that conflict, and it's not as if their exploits meaningfully changed the course of the war. Logistics wins war. Planning, preparation, knowing where to bring the force, and how much force to.
And as a Jovian would say, political will. And we leave Nora and Philippe on that note. As we come back to Jozsua. Jozsua, you went back to your bunk, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
And actually, you have gotten a letter. You got a shipment of correspondence and mail yesterday, but they are still working through it all.
Of course.
And it's from your sister, Captain Victorinka Yusuf.
Oh, that's interesting. I
Your
don't get letters from home very often.
Older sister.
Why don't you DM it to me and I'll read it to the class.
Wait, one.
All right.
Oh,
I hope this letter finds you well, Jozsua, and that things are going well in Saturn. If I had to guess by the newsreels, your assignment with Comrade Colonel Markovic means you'll have seen quite a bit by the time this letter will reach you. I'm confident that you're in good health and spirits as we all are. On the topic of news from home, you'll be happy to know that cousin Francisca graduated from France with FRAMS, that's the military academy, with flying marks. We wish you could have been present for the ceremony. Our pod gives his regards. Dad's been good. No real issue on the border to keep him from Armonia. With your transfer to the IVA, I've been considering my own future. With how hard it's been to get into Karpov Bashir, Mom and Dad have been hounding me when I'm either going to make the jump, get major, or get out and start a family. I've almost of the mind to join you in Saturn, but I don't think that would be good if the worst were to happen to either you or me. In that light, I've decided to see if I could get into the Poor Clares. I requested to be brought down to reserve level during the trial period, but I'm prepared to resign my commission entirely. I haven't told Mom or Dad yet. Best regards, Victorinka. Jozsua reads the letter, reads it twice, reads it a third time, crumples it up, and breaks down into tears.
And the scene cuts back to the meeting hall as it is time for the internationals to return back to their lines.
that was just looking just so good compared to when the episode started.
I believe there's a goodbye that has to be had.
Philippe saying goodbye to any of the Reds who he has encountered that are still lingering, handshakes, a little cheery farewell.
Yeah, actually, Philippe, on that note, when Rasvin tried to confront you again, you saw Markovic quite literally grab him. No, not drop kick him, grab him by the cuff and start dragging him away. So said something, pointed it in his ear.
Oh, who was that strange fellow? Philippe wonders to himself.
You know,
Nora would've
Fuyuki,
probably
I've
given a
never
good
seen
buy for Fuyuki.
Rasivin and Philippe in the same room.
It might be the
Shut
same
up.
You
guy.
have, though. You for several hours.
You just saw them in the same room. Just that.
Hordon was not looking at both of them at the same time.
He doesn't have
That's-
object
that's so-
permanence.
I have
Nope.
not had them in my same vision for a couple of weeks.
Philippe
Hordon
will
doesn't
offer
believe in
Hordon-
peripheral vision. It's a fucking hoax.
Philippe will offer Hordon and Fuyuki handshakes and bid them farewell and hope they enjoyed their visit over, and then he will go over to Zoifiya and give her a warm smile.
Nora would also give Hordon and Fuyuki a handshake.
When Nora gives Fuyuki a handshake, he accepts, but for a moment, he sort of like holds on just a moment long and like looks into her eyes and doesn't say anything, but there's a smile on his face. And he just holds the moment for a second, then steps back, gives a wave, and says, "I'll see you all of you on the battlefield then. I hope you don't disappoint."
Nora would have returned the smile, but not have said anything either, not wanting to antagonize him any further.
Jeanne will shake whatever hands have to be shake. Give Zoifiya when she's there I hope things go well for you on that side, Miss Zoifiya.
Zoifiya's gonna, take her hand. Take care of yourself, Jeanne. And Philippe.
I'll do the best I can.
Next time we see ourselves on the battlefield, don't hold back.
I don't think I can.
She leaves the two of them.
And let's get one last interaction between the Johns. Jeanne will shake Hordon's hand and just say, "Apologies that I couldn't return the well wishes to you back at the mess. Good luck, Sergeant."
Good luck to you too. Do hope your conscience gets the better of you at some point. At least before Fuyuki or Rasivin get a hold of you.
She just kind of looks down.
John tosses you another date and then heads off.
Does that man just have dates in his pocket, John?
What's a date? Wait, actually.
It's a kind
Like
of
the fruit.
They're
Oh.
really sweet, but they look like a cockroach.
John
They look disgusting, but they are peak.
John looks at the date. She takes a bite of it. It tastes like home. Maybe he does.
I mean, these IVA folks are real strange.
Well, like I said before, they're not a real military.
Undisciplined.
Or a bunch of belters in a trench coat.
But they don't have to be a real military to be a threat. It's very important that you'll learn that today. We're dealing with a dedicated, motivated opponent made up of skilled, intelligent soldiers. We can expect them to throw their worst at us when the time comes.
Well, I don't doubt that they're dangerous. Just strange.
Though it appears my friend has slipped away before I could even do more than shake her hand.
She kind of bites the bottom of her lip. Perhaps, perhaps the captain of the Martians of the Cronians are
You went through like 3 different enemies of the Federation before something on the right one.
Martians?
Why we
Yay, the long
Martians?
Space War speaks for itself.
Wow.
Listen. There's so many space wars.
Wow.
Complete
You're
trilogy.
thinking of the internationalists, or just simply the IVA.
Yeah, but she says, I think it may have been best for you two to have left with words unspoken.
Well, that is a rather ominous and vaguely tragic thing to have said, Lieutenant, unprompted, but noted.
Just things for the next letter.
Sir,
Eckerd says.
Jeanne is going to look like she's about to say something, but then just kind of hold her lip a bit.
Speak up, Jeanne.
It's just personal thoughts, sir.
You're allowed to say your personal thoughts. Contrary to what the IVA seems to believe, you all aren't automatons.
No, just mercenaries and class traders, I think, was the phrasing they used.
Well, if we were mercenaries, we're not very smart ones. We picked the lowest paying job we could go for, with the highest amount of danger. And, at least for me, I am not technically a class trader by definition. Well, I guess voting socialist would count.
That's true, actually.
I know you're not here, Jozsua, but I still like the idea of Jozsua just muttering that.
Jozsua is Philippe's #1 hater, so.
That's some stiff
so
competition.
I know, it sure is.
Nora just
Philippe
kind of
likes you all.
Nora just kind of laughs a little bit at class trader.
Is that what's bothering you, Jean? Was something...
Well, when everyone you've talked to has given you looks for simply the place you were born, trusting expectations, thinking that you should have been there instead of here, it gets overwhelming.
He places a hand on her shoulder. Well, I wish I could say it gets easier, but unfortunately, this is just what existing in the Federation entails. Now you know somewhat what a Lunan feels like.
I just imagine when you say that in the background, you just got mothers and Mora just in shot.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter where we were born in the Federation. We are all citizens and soldiers of the Federation, and that is all that matters.
Right. Yes, of course, Major. I think I need some time to myself.
Of course. You're dismissed from your duties for the rest of the day.
Thank you. She's gonna go to her room.
2.
Weaver,
Yes, sir?
how are you feeling today?
Uh-oh. Seems like the IVA are exactly as strange as we've been told. A bunch of colorful personalities, and they're all convinced they're on some sort of grand moral crusade. I can't say that it's really changed my opinion on them, having met them face to face.
Well, we'll see what they bring to the table. At the end of the day, talk is talk. What matters is performance. And so far, they've been performing well. But we'll meet those colorful personalities. And all we have to do is hold the line.
You know what I
Understood.
just realized? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
What did you realize?
Jeanne is Jeanne d'Arc if she was with the English.
Yet more evil thoughts permeate this episode.
Yeah, speaking of, John's gonna return to her room, just kind of sit and on her bed and flop over onto it as she fishes under her pillow, pulls out the letter from her family. The words of various people are echoing. She thought that she could just shrug it off, but when everyone looks at you like you're an outsider, an outcast, when every time you want to explain, the one time she tried to explain to someone she fought, she was told for self-actualization, to think for herself, that she would just parrot someone else's words, and when she hid it from the others, she was called a traitor, that she would be corrected, taught what was right. She would see the error of her ways once they captured her. She's probably heard about certain ways the women on Jovian, on Jupiter are treated, or Saturn are treated.
No, you were
from
right the first
Union.
time.
You're right. It was
Oh.
Jupiter. Yeah.
Jupiter, my bad.
No worry, it's a complicated world out here.
There's a lot of borders.
Girls go to Jupiter to get more pregnant.
We don't like to, but she just kind of really is wondering what she's really doing here. The only reason she signed up was because of Philippe, because she believed in what he said the Union, the Federation could be. And then she has everyone else here. Everyone either ridicules her for her religion, they question her, even on this side. Why is a belter here? Shouldn't they be more with the Union? And then interacting with the Reds themselves was given either looks of pity or disdain. Even the most pleasant interactions was laden with traces of pity in it. Is she just taking advantage of Philippe's goodwill, of his wealth, of his status, of his privilege? Is she just using him to climb up without even thinking about it? I mean, her family is already on Earth, sorry. I gotta ask, Peri, did Philippe just send them to Earth, or was it like a, hey, join me in the military, and I'll help your...
No, she
Yeah.
just mentioned her family needed help, so Philippe was like, do you want me to just send them there?
Yeah. She knows Philippe isn't a bad person. She knows his personality is infectious, but also very... what's the word? The word when contentious? I think that'd be the right word to describe Philippe. She puts the letter down and just kind of curls up into a ball.
And the camera starts to pan out as the Bonino Rosso leaves, along with a small armada of mostly empty transport ships carrying 15,000 internationalists back to the United Front lines. Closing out February 28th, 3:30.